System, man. I came up with the shooting. Motherfucker, I'm supposed to be happy every day. How many people in here that came up with that? You know? And I went and got a job. So that's what it is. Yeah.
And what time? 7 o'clock?
Yeah.
15 after 7.
Have a class here.
Yeah, man.
Okay, I would like to attend.
Oh, there you go. I was looking for you. You right here. Got another seat right here. Go in.
Last one? Yeah.
What's your name?
My name Cartier Curtis.
Okay, my name, you can't just put some more. You got a name.
Faith.
Oh.
You always got me listening to something. You think share everything. Yeah.
Wow, this is Ethiopia.
We can get that set off in a minute. At any rate, Peace.
Peace.
What's going on, black man? What's your name, bro?
Cartier.
Cartier?
Yes, sir.
Alright, you say your name is again?
Black.
Black? Where you from?
South Jamaica.
South Jamaica? Alright, so what brings you to the,
Well, I did some of the lessons, as a kid.
alright,
I converted to Islam way back. A lot of the Muslims. And I had too much of it right now. So
the nation
I
of
need
Islam?
to, no, not nation, like just regular Sunni.
Sunni, alright.
Right. And I've done that for years. And I need some lessons. I need to know the lessons.
But why do you think you need to know the lesson?
Because I know that's how I became Muslim. Just through the lessons.
That's how you first was studying the lessons again, so.
But from the lessons, right? Years back in the day, So I lost touch to the point where when I speak to the gods, it's like I know I need the lessons. Like I'm not there. The knowledge is not there. Like, you don't use it, you lose it. So the other day I was walking, like now I'm in Harlem. I've been in Harlem for a little while now, since the pandemic. And like right now I just had the time where I could just actually come. Like I didn't know they had classes. So I walked by and I spoke with the brothers, and the brothers was like, yo, bro, come take the class.
So this time, what you think you're gonna do with the lessons?
Well, it's not about this time. It's always about people. You know what I'm saying? I've always represent gods and herbs. I'm God, like I am.
Right.
That's just what it is.
All right,
So it don't matter.
That's what I'm asking. When you read the Quran, right? What person or group of people or what entity represents you?
The original black man.
All right. That's so. Who's the original black man?
Even in the Quran, it says that Abraham's midwife, and Muslims will tell you this, the midwife was casted out because the wife at that time Sarah had a child.
Mm-hmm.
So when they cast the wife out and she went to the well of Zamzam, she cried out. Now she came from Africa. She cried out, and then Allah put the water came out. So that water still they do that in Hajj with the water of the Zamzam. But when you ask them, yo, who was Hagar, they're gonna tell you she was an African woman that came from Africa. That's where Islam got its start from the son of Abraham. That's where the Kaaba was built.
Mm-hmm.
So I know that. Like it's just that you're not gonna get the loves from them. That's just like right now when you go, the Senegalese right here, that's on 116. Mm-hmm. When you go to them, they have this brother, Toba. It's not the place is Toba, mm-hmm. But they're Sufis. But a Sufi is the same thing as a Moor. Like with Mansa Musa, like he had so much gold and he went into Egypt and all of that. So like I know, like even with the Timbuktu story, all of that is connected. So, but right before Barack Obama became president, there was prophesied, there's an African prophecy where they were saying that the next Messiah is gonna raise up out of the West. Mm-hmm. So I know it's the African American, well, not African American, it's the
original man.
The original man, which I guess you could say the American of the African descent, if you want to say.
Mm. But see, here's the thing, right? Now, and the way I look at it, is mine just,
peace, King.
You're the best knower of you and what you're going through, right? But see, when I read the Bible, right, or I read the Quran or anything, right, I'm God.
Of course.
You see what I'm saying? I'm the one doing the smiting. I'm not the one that's being smited, cast out into the desert and none of that. See, when you start looking for yourself amongst them people, right, then that's when you start going from place to place to place. We the Hebrews, we did this, we did that. You understand what I mean? All of those is just different manifestations. You know what I'm saying? It's like right now, the clothes that we wear, say like here in New York, right? Like now it's summertime. So the whole country might be pretty much wearing the same thing. But now when winter comes, people in Chicago is not wearing the same thing as people in Florida. You know what I mean? People in Brooklyn is not wearing the same thing as people in San Diego. You see what I'm saying? So the way we manifesting, our coach at any given time, yeah, you can tell all these different stories, you know, and you can have all these different interpretations, you know, but when you understand that, you know, like what you're talking about is certain historic connections and all that, right?
But even when I go back to the original essence of how Islam came to America, you know, I grew up in New York, like I'm from New York. So when we were kids, we grew up with hip hop, calling each other God, you know what I'm saying? And then, yeah, dudes sold drugs and we called ourselves Supreme, Understanding, Knowledge, you know, all these different names. At some point in those time, in that childhood, you know, I was like, well, where did that come from? And then and then we would share the knowledge amongst us. We studied the lessons. Now, eventually, like I went to prison and I went back, like, because my parents is Christianity. I went, but like my parents migrated from the South and they didn't even have a clue of what I was exposed to in New York. And in being in New York, you're exposed to like basically the world, you know, coming from this place. But I just know that there's more than what I'm learning in the church. So I did follow, at that point, I did follow like, when I was in prison, I followed like, because, you know, they let you read the Bible, you know, until you can get the lessons and stuff like that. So I read the Bible. I read it to where, like, I was able to quote the scriptures, like I'll read it, put it, because it's nothing like like I'm in trouble, what I'm gonna do that's gonna benefit me when I get out. So I just was like, well, I got a Bible, they're not taking it. I read the Bible. Eventually, I was around the Hebrew Israelites. I think right here on 125th, it was a brother Judah. This is way back. I was like, I lied about my age. I was like an adolescent because C-74 was so wild. So I went around the adults, and then I was with the brother Judah. We used to get up and read the bar. Back then they had, I don't know if you remember Dr. York. So he had some good stuff. So with me, it wasn't just like Islam, it was the collective. But I always knew what originally tapped into me, and it was the nation of God's earth. So for me to not know my lessons, it's a problem for me.
Yeah, but see, that's what I'm telling you, is where, you know, you could easily, you know, you lose, you could, you know, you start going through all of these journeys, right? Without like a compass. You know what I'm saying? You know, so now you don't know how to get back to the place where you're from. You know what I'm saying? Or even in terms of say like even when you go to eat food, right? That's based on the foods that your tongue was already trained with when you was a kid. You know what I'm saying? Like somebody will come from another country and say they want to eat soul food, right? But see, like you said, with your family coming from down south, you never say to your friend, yo, I'm going home to eat some soul food.
Well, one thing we don't eat pork. So when I go down there, I can't eat none of the dishes they making because they got pork. They put pork in the collard greens and even the vegetables.
Like, guaranteed.
So right. I know originally I'm New York.
But this is what I'm saying though, is that now every other food that you eat, your measuring stick is the food that you grew up with. You understand what I'm saying? Like that's already become your standard and your principle. Right. So what I'm saying is that when you study in the lessons, right, and you've internalized it, right, to that level, then now that becomes your measuring stick. Meaning like if I go to read something right now, right, and let's say, for instance, just as an example, it says the black man is not God, right? I don't care who it came from. Like it could come from Harvard University. You see what I'm saying? My measuring stick is supreme mathematics because I internalized it at such a young age that, I never really, you know, I didn't learn. I didn't, you know, like how you say you went through multiple.
All these different,
I went from Christianity right here.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? So, you know, like we were saying in the lessons, right? There's things that there's science, right? Like for instance, DNA, right? That wasn't around when I got the knowledge that is now shown and proven things in the lessons to be true. You understand what I'm saying? You know, but it wasn't like I questioned it from the jump. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So that's the key, man. Like when you say, man, you don't want to lose your lessons, that's something that you got to stay in tune with every day. You see, like today, you know, today is the day of knowledge. To see for everybody, right? Even the people, because you know we live stream this for the people that's out there. Listen, you know, if you got to renew your lessons, right? Today's the day. Just start out.
It panned out that way.
Right. Start out with quoting a knowledge degree. You see what I'm saying? And then tomorrow, quote the knowledge degree and the wisdom degree. And then the next day, quote the knowledge degree and the wisdom degree and the understanding degree. You see what I mean? And then now by the end of that month, you understand what I'm saying? Because that's where you get caught up at when you're not doing it step by step like that, right? And then when you're not putting in the activation. So that's another reason why I asked you, like, what you gonna do with it this time, right? Because see, last time you had it, you did the wrong thing, right? And then you lost one of your mathematics, right? You lost freedom. You see what I'm saying? So you gotta look at how you got yourself there. Like what was what was the light that you were shining in your surroundings? You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, it had that negative impact on your life of making you lose your freedom, right? But then what about the impact of all the people, you understand what I mean, that you was affecting while you was doing whatever you was doing? You see what I'm saying? So, you know, that's the real purpose of this mathematics. Like, see, now we get back to the stuff that you was talking about in terms of who we are and, you know, us achieving freedom, justice, and equality, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, more than survival here on the planet Earth, right? This is what we got to use right here. We got to use the supreme mathematics, you know what I mean? And we have all those lessons to draw on. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, the lessons in the Bible, the lessons in the Quran, the lessons in the 120 lessons, the lessons in the Bhagavad Gita, the lessons in the what you call that? Tao Te Ching, I Ching. You understand what I'm saying? All of those different books show you examples, right, of how different people with different personalities and positive and negative and positive and positive and negative and you know how they interact with each other. So you see different examples, right? Now you got to get to the point of you see them in the lessons, right? But can you see them in your everyday life? You see what I'm saying? I mean, like you can read the Bible and you know the story of Judas, right? But can you recognize Judas? See, that's what it's for. You understand what I'm saying? Because that's some other people that already happened. Like that Judas, you know, whatever story you go with, you know, but let's go with the version that he hung himself with, whatever happened to him, right? He served his penalty. He's already dead now. There's nothing you can do. You see what I'm saying? You know, it's not, you know, but what you can do is say, I recognize what this is, you know, even if it's you being presented with an opportunity to be Judas, right? You gotta be able to recognize that, hold up, I see you trying to give me the 40 pieces. You see what I'm saying? That's what the lessons is for. That's what the math is for. So you can know how to categorize all these things. You can, you know, identify all these things and see how they interact with each other. You know what I'm saying? But you know, if, like I said, you know, what is it that, because here's the thing, right? We like, you know, all those different things that you were saying that the original man once accomplished, right? How do we get back to that point?
I think we still there. I think we like especially with God, like we already know.
Yeah, we know, but we gotta manifest. I mean, like, this is what I'm saying. We know that the original man built pyramids, right? But we can't make them. You see what I'm saying?
Like you're saying, like we lost touch with that knowledge.
Well, I mean, we didn't just lose touch with it, you know. There was some stuff that we went through,
Right.
but you know, yeah. But here's the thing. Now, let me bring it back to what you said, right? The reason we're still there, right, is because we're made out of the same stuff they was made. See what I'm saying? They the original man, we the original man. So see, when you look at the pyramids, right, the ones that they show us on TV all the time, those are the perfected ones. You see what I mean? But if you see, they got other ones when they was building up the knowledge to be able to make that perfect one. You see what I'm saying? So we may have to go through that same degree of trial and error that they went through, but if they could do it, we could do it, right? But like you said, now we just got to know the power that's in us. And that's good, knowing the power that's in us, right? But here's the thing now, right, is now we got about 100 years. We a little over 100 years. You know, if you counting from Noble Drew Ali, right? We got 100 years of this kind of knowledge being around. You know what I'm saying? Of, you know, who the original people is, and you know, our origin is you know, it's not uncivilized. You know what I'm saying? We didn't come from savages, right? But what have we been able to do with it? You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, one of the first things we got to be able to do is say, all right, what is the society that we built? You know, and you know, one of
What have we done in 100 years?
look at the news.
If you ask me, well, if I speak for myself, it's a state of selfishness.
And I'm not saying
No, I'm just being honest.
Let me correct some of what I said. I don't want to take away from the many accomplishments that have happened, right?
I think in 100 years,
but
the black man has shown we became the greatest in every area.
We have. That's what I said. I don't want to take nothing away from that, right? But there is something, right, where you gotta look at how the babies is coming out as some kind of measure too of what kind of society we live in. You see what I'm saying? So, you know, if they out there going crazy and killing themselves, right? That's something that we producing. You know what I mean? Now, it could be reasons, right, that's what we're producing. But now, at some point, you know, some could be a reason, right? But then if that keep being the reason, and it's something within your power, then at some point it becomes an excuse. You see what I mean? Like, if I say I'm not going to jump off the Empire State Building because of gravity, you know, because yes, that's a good reason. That's not going to change. You understand what I mean? But if I say, yo, you know, they not giving us a proper education, and that's why I'm not doing that. That's something you could do something about. You understand what I mean? So at some point, it becomes an excuse. You know, when you keep doing it. So that's what I'm saying. Is just like I said, I don't want to act like progress hasn't been made, right? But you know, the cipher got to go from knowledge to one. You know what I mean? Cycles got to be completed in order for you to say they existed. You know what I'm saying? Like if a a baby doesn't go through the whole cycle of 9 months, you know what I mean? Now for the individuals who the parents, it affects them, but to other people there was no baby. You see what I'm saying? Like they don't, for the most part, I've seen it happen, but people don't give names most of the times, you know what I'm saying, to a baby that doesn't make it through the whole cycle. You understand what I'm saying? But that's the key where, like, see, because, both of y'all at the age where you gotta have a plan when you get to knowledge. See, like, when you, 14, 15, 16, you don't have a plan at all. So, you use the mathematics to make your plan, to predict what is the history that you want to live. You see what I mean? But, even in terms of like right now, y'all got kids. So you already at a point of responsibility that I wasn't. You see what I'm saying? At 15, I'm playing video games and shit. You see what I'm saying? I got the rest of the time ahead of me, but right now, it's like even in terms of, the way things are spiraling out of control right now, right? Like right now, all of us right now, we in our prime, right? But in a couple of years when we not in our prime and we leave all those baby wolves out there, right, with no guidance, they just gonna become big wolves. You see what I'm saying? When we out of our prime, and then they gonna prey on us. You see what I'm saying? So
yeah, it's already like that.
You see what I'm saying? So that's why, you gotta have a plan, like, see, because just knowing the lessons and be like, yo, you run into the guy and, we trade back and forth on that, that's peace. We gotta do that so that we're in tune. See, because like you said, see, all the stuff that you were saying, all that history, we gotta be in tune with that history. You see what I'm saying? We can't be on the front lines and you died and shit, and they showed me white Jesus and shit, and I dropped to my knees and shit. You know what I'm saying? Motherfucker showed me white Jesus and prayed with me, and I'm like, yeah, we shouldn't be aggressive against the Christian brothers, man. You know what I'm saying? Jesus Christian brothers right here. And look, that's what happened. In the history of time, with them coming amongst the original man, that's what they did. Convert motherfuckers to their religion. Now we Christian brothers. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Wow.
Yeah.
You're right.
The Arabs did the same thing. Right? So now we start siding with them against each other.
Yeah, they wouldn't even recognize. That's what tore me up. Like before I came to Harlem and I seen the Senegalese, there's a brother, I think his name is Bamba, I'm Bamba or something. And he's like, this guy's like this big time, he's a Sufi. The Arabs don't want that information to be known, that these Senegalese have this Sufi, like they do these chants where like it's like super empowerment, like where to the point where it's a threat to the Arab, so to speak. So they want to snuff that out. So I don't know, just me looking at that and then me being African American and just knowing like certain things that I'm just like walking around and I saw them, I'll speak to them, I'll say peace, but I just know like, I feel it. You know what, like you said, when you turn on the news, I think you said it. Like you see how like with the sisters and the brothers, a matter of fact, the young girl that was running, remember how they was like, oh, we want to get her out of here because she's smoking weed, right? And then I think she went back and she was just still eating them up on the track, even though she's yeah. I mean, just look at the greatness of any of them, right. Whether it be Mike Tyson, Michael Jordan, anybody you name. Mm-hmm. Like it's just something about the brothers that's here in America not to take nothing from around, from the brothers and the rest of the planet, but
See, whatever it is, it has to be turned into potential in every world. See what I'm saying? Meaning, like those people that you name, right? Yeah, the gods of those worlds are Black, right? Like the gods of the NBA is Black. You know what I'm saying? The gods of music is Black. You know what I'm saying? The gods of, but see, we gotta start being the gods of economics. You see what I'm saying? See, like in this nation, we say we the Lord of all worlds from highest to lowest. So, depending on what world you in, if you in school, you gotta be a god of that world, right? You gotta demonstrate that you're the most high.
And you know what's crazy? We are the gods of economics. That's what's crazy.
Yes,
We are.
But you gotta always keep in mind the difference between potential and kinetic. See, all that potential exists within us, right? But it's got to be put into activation. It's got to, it's got to be producing something tangible. You see what I'm saying? A lot of those things, even to say with a lot of those things that we name, right? The person that you see being the most high in it is one person, but then the person who's getting the most benefit from it is somebody else.
But it's always been that way.
Well, since we've been here, but that's not the society that we're supposed to have. See, like for instance, this is what I'm saying.
Change.
Like you say, you got kids, right?
Right.
Now, at some point, in order for them to be successful in society, depending on, but most people, let's just say that, most people send their kids to school, right? So now you send them into that education system and they, that starts to impact their value system from the jump. You see what I'm saying? Because if, like right now, right? Let's say you send your child to clean something up, right? And they clean up 85% of it, right? You're gonna chastise them like, yo, what you doing, man? This is I asked you to do something, you're gonna do it, right? But if they go to school and get an 85, you celebrate that. See that right there, you starting to have an impact on their value system. Is that you celebrate the stuff that they do over there, and there's not a lot of celebrations for the stuff that happen in any other world. You know what I'm saying? So, in other other groups of people, right? Other societies of people. There's other societies of people where you don't even have to speak English. Like they could be born in America, live in America their whole life, never speak English, and be successful.
It's true.
You understand what I'm saying? Because of the society that they built. You see what I'm saying? In order for, our kids to be successful. Matter of fact, everyone root for me. My son, he's got a call back from Bloomberg to be a software engineer over there. I need him off the payroll. So root for me.
How old is he?
Listen, 27.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Nice.
He'd be making over there. He'd be making enough where he pay me back my money.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just talking about the 21 plus money. I ain't even, we need to go back down. Yeah, I'm just talking about the Wayne says 21. You know what I mean? But yeah, shout out to him. He's doing his thing. But what I'm saying is, you got to go into that world. You know what I mean? Now, with him, he's locked in enough. You know, he's locked in where he know who he is. So see, he can go amongst that world, you know, and he understand what it is with his job is to do. You understand what I'm saying? You know, but you know, ultimately, that's what we missing. You know what I'm saying? That's one of the ways that the level of oppression is possible. You see what I'm saying? Because you know, you've got to use their apparatus. You know what I'm saying? You've got to use their apparatus in order to just survive for your own self. You know what I'm saying? In order to survive on this plantation, you got to make Master rich. So that's the cycle of it. You know what I mean? You know, economics and all of that. You know what I'm saying? It's a circle. You understand what I'm saying? But if your circle ain't closed and shit, and money is leaking, these is the things, you know, that y'all gotta do.
Nah, you 100.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The young kids, they gotta study their lessons. See,
It's crazy because that's what I do with software engineering.
That's what you do.
That's what I do. And like, all right, so I train it to the military, banks and stuff like that. And
shit, I might get your number after this. You call me.
Right,
Tell my
it's
son to call you.
you know, and the security of it, like keeping that stuff secure. It's another big field, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like when I was like a couple of classes went bad, so they had some bad instructors, and it was the pale people teaching it.
Mm-hmm.
But every time they had to correct it, it was a black brother or sister that came in. And the first thing I would say to them on this, first I'll friend and I'll create a relationship, because I'm like, wow, we're amongst these white folks. They're calling us to do the work. And like you said, there's a circle where the gap is, like they're giving us pennies.
Mm-hmm.
They're making billions and trillions. And when I'm looking at that, I'm saying, wow. Like, I'm thinking, like, all right, so one of the females I met, she's like, Ronnie, like, you're the first black person I've seen in like, say, 10 years. And I've taught, like, each year, she's teaching like thousands and thousands of white people traveling the world.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, we're not in there. We're not in those programs or in those classes. We're not learning those lessons of what they created to, you know, to master us, you know, or to master us, or try to. So, like, I'm definitely 100 with you. And even a couple of sisters I know, they went to school, got doctorate degrees, and they make writing books on economics and things like this. One is a professor at the engineer, LaGuardia Aerodynamics, the airplanes.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
And she's the same thing. She's like, you know, we're not in the classes, you know, or we're not in the conversation, or we're not doing all that as we could do. We're just more like taking the seat back.
Chief, I got a question for you after you answer this.
Well, see, one thing I think that is, right, is that see, Jay-Z is still cooler for being a rapper than a businessman. You see what I'm saying? We not like there's people, right, that you can tell them, look, you know, this job right here, you're going to be making like 7,000 plus a year. You know what I'm saying? You know, you're not gonna have to do no running. You're not gonna be tussling with the police. You're not gonna be in the bullpen. Because there's some people that's gonna say, yeah, but you're not gonna get cool points like that. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or I saw it was a YouTube video and these dudes was doing on the street interviews, and they was asking young women like in their early 20s, would you rather be with a drug dealer, a scammer, or a 9-to-5 guy? You know what I'm saying? And the scammer, you know, had put up crazy numbers. The drug dealer lost, you know, totally, but you know, the 9-to-5, like there was some people that some of them said, you know, some women said that, but you know, generally speaking, it's you know, we want to be cooler than we want to be prosperous and shit. You know what I'm saying? You know, where people will go into some shit knowing that this shit is not going to last forever. You know what I'm saying? And still do it because it's cool and shit. You know what I mean? So that's something just dealing with our value system. Like saying, like right now, right? Who's the black Elon Musk? And I'm not talking about just the level of money, but I'm talking about somebody who
Kanye.
Kanye. Nah, that's still entertainment. I'm talking about somebody academically, right? Somebody who used their mind power. I mean, of course, Kanye uses mind power. I'm not saying it's not mind power, but I'm saying that, you know, entertainment has to stop being our number one field.
I agree.
You know what I mean? Not that entertainment needs to go down, but I'm saying that other things need to come up. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, that's you just look, this is one of the things that what I'm saying, okay, it becomes an excuse now that, you know, the black dude that invented the blood transfusion, right? It's not, you know, the average little kids don't know his name like people know Newton or Einstein, you know what I'm saying, or one of these people like that. You see what I mean? So I'm saying that just that type of mentality, you know, elevating those people. And don't get me wrong, you know, right now what it is that we're fighting against the media, right? That's elevating a certain images. You understand what I'm saying? But I'm saying that if we don't elevate no other images, you know, like different days of time, they had, you know, different images, you know. Everybody wanted to be like Malcolm at one time. You know what I'm saying? So that's gonna just put a different image out there. You know what I mean? But right now, you know, I'm just talking about the things we gotta instill in ourselves.
Who was the guy?
Huh?
Who you speaking?
Yeah.
I'm curious.
That did what?
The black Elon Musk.
No, that's what I'm saying. There's no black Elon.
Oh, we don't
Musk.
have it.
There's no there's no person that is like, yo, he don't jump high, he don't run fast, you know, he just comes up with ideas and shit, and he knows how to use the network with people and shit. And you know, it's a whole bunch of other stuff involved, but I'm just saying that, you know, because
There's one, I know.
Well, look, I'm not saying it don't exist, but we have to make that person more popular.
You're right.
You understand what I'm saying? Because here's the thing why I say you gotta raise up out of the entertainment thing, right? Is because now that takes a degree of talent, right? Everybody can't be Michael Jordan. Everybody can't be Kanye.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? But see, everybody can go to school, right? And I mean, not everybody can be a software developer, but I'm saying the various myriad things that's out there to be done that's actually lucrative jobs that the young can have and shit. See, anybody can do that.
So could we get like social media influencers to allow teachers, trainers to teach on their platform? Because that's the only way, like this guy engineered.
Mhm.
Social media reaching on 1 million people is gonna be, he's maybe not even on social media, right?
Mhm.
But he may have the knowledge and the information that if someone that's an influencer say, hey, let him teach a course,
Mhm.
this guy might be able to teach a course that the child that's watching.
I mean, it's a great idea.
You know what
I
I'm
mean?
saying? That's simple as just sharing a link.
Yeah, it's a great idea, but it's just something that I think he would have to do on his own, you know, or have some the people that he work with, it's people that got stuff like that. You know what I mean? Tutorial stuff on here. Because the reason I say that is that the people that's already there now, they there for a reason. You know what I'm saying? They there because they popularity contest people. They not, nobody lets you in their gate without knowing who you are. You see what I'm saying? So it's like by the time we give you a certain amount of whatever it is, we already know that you're not going to use this to help your people. Like if you start expressing that, we're not going, like, look, John Singleton, you know what I'm saying, versus how many other directors and shit. Like, dude, that shit you saying, now we're not going to let you come up. We're not going to give you an opportunity to get enough money to affect no positive shit. See, this is something you gotta remember. This is just our day and time that we in. You see what I mean? See, like how y'all said, right? Look at all the things that Black people accomplish. You know what white people is thinking? Give a nigga an inch. The people that's trying to do the oppressing, that's what they thinking, man. Give a nigga an inch and look what the fuck happened. So now, their goal is to not give an inch no more. See, like for instance, right? One of the things you was just talking about right there, right? That's something that would be leadership amongst the people, right? And we always say, you always hear people saying, yo, Black people, we don't got no leadership like that, like how we had back in the day. You know what I'm saying? But you can't forget that there's people actively working against that. You know what I'm saying? There's a in the FBI they circulated a memo that we have to prevent the rise of Black society. And so if you see that since that memo came out, it ain't been no rise in no Black society. You gotta say that could be related. You see what I'm saying? But the thing is that it's not their job to do that. Not even as the oppressor, but just as that's not how it works. You know what I'm saying? Whoever saved the Chinese people is Chinese.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Really? Whoever saved the European people is European. You see what I'm saying? And so whoever is going to save us is going to be Black. You see what I mean? So now you can't, the other people, they busy dealing with their salvation. Like the Chinese, they got almost 2 billion of them to save. They ain't got no time to save you. It's not even, ain't even no hard feelings. We got 1 billion motherfuckers over here to feed, man. You see what I mean? You got to handle your business. But what was the question though that you said you had?
It was me, right?
No, he said he had a question to ask after the question you asked.
It was on something of those lines that's fine. Like looking at people like Marcus Garvey, right? I come from Florida, and I come up here because I come to do some research on Marcus Garvey. I want to my ideal is where his ideals stop.
He should be up there.
Carry on.
I think he should be up here.
Who?
Yeah, he's
Marcus Garvey.
He's a picture in it.
No. I'm talking about. No, he should be up here. Like
Oh, he's to come here.
130th, 131st Street.
Like
Yeah,
that's you understand. That's what I'm here. I want to feel that spirit that was at the park yesterday. Like above my head right now. Like you feel me?
Mm-hmm.
And
like I said, there has been many things that happen. You know what I mean? And a lot of things, a lot of things I'm saying, right? Marcus Garvey already said that. So that's what I'm saying. That we can know, but if we don't put it into activation, right? So that it's a benefit for our people?
That's the question. That's what I said. That's what I was leading up to. Like, if we know the Europeans are going to seek, trying to destroy chaos, to do any propaganda to destroy all, like you said, any rising, right? No economic gain, any of those type things. Stop the black man from becoming a world leader, world power. Then it's left, and it's left to the black man amongst black men to somehow collectively have some type of networks to support. Wouldn't you agree?
No, son.
Or what would you? What's your thought?
You said it would be something for
Like for all brothers that have some type of gift, power, or knowledge, that there's some way that, hey, you need to reach the people, you need resources, you need this. Well, we all come together and just share that equally because we all have it in abundance.
Well, see, without trying to be biblical about it, that is pretty much the name of the game. You know what I'm saying? Not like to say we're being punished on no biblical level and that like that, but the lack of unity amongst us, right, allowed a few unifying ideas amongst them to defeat us. See what I'm saying? Meaning, specifically saying that nationalism defeated tribalism. You see what I'm saying? Nationalism, see, amongst Europeans, right? It's only certain, like, if they Irish, you know what I'm saying? Or maybe Norwegian, certain Europeans might tell you, yeah, I'm from this tribe. You might hear somebody say they Celtic or something like that. But generally speaking, that shit destroyed. Like, even some white people in New York, like, if you ask them, like, what are you? Like, you Italian, they don't really know. Like, they'll be, I think, like, Italian and German or something, somebody was.
But I have heard white people have that conversation.
Yeah, they don't really know, right? You see what I mean? Because that shit just destroyed the tribalism amongst them. You see what I'm saying? So now, let's say you take World War I or World War II, right? You got all different Europeans that came from all different tribes, right? All different countries, all different religions, whatever, but we just American now. See what I'm saying? And we going over there to blow your shit up. You see, Christianity is another one of them unifying ideas amongst them that, even though they had a lot of differences, they fought into that one banner. You see what I'm saying? Whereas the Indian tribes didn't all fight together. There was alliances, but not, a cohesive unit. You know what I'm saying? When they went to Africa, Asia, wherever they encountered the indigenous people, that's basically what it was. Is you got, a national amount of resources, right, directed against people with a tribal amount of resources.
That's true.
So, that's one of those things that, that's at the root even of the successes that we talking about, right? That's at the root of it. You know what I mean? Is that Marcus Garvey was able to was able to galvanize a lot of people. You understand what I'm saying? Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, all of these different people, they was able to galvanize a lot of people. You know what I'm saying? And, in terms of society, what we do have to give the Christian church credit for is that it was a unifying place. You know what I'm saying? And so it could become a kind of base where, we can use that unity now to make some other fight, you know what I mean? Like civil rights or, voting or whatever it might be. But like the brother right here was saying, that's why the knowledge of who we are, right, and how we got to here is important. You know what I'm saying? To see, what all the factors was, right? Not just from the environment, right? But internally, within our own self, what was the things that we did or didn't do? See, because that's the level that we at right now, right? Where that's what we've accomplished. You know what I'm saying? Like, there was a time, Jerusalem, just as an example, right? There was a time when that was a idea amongst the people, right? And then they put it, through whatever means in the activation. So, we seeing how that unity had an impact, right? Like right after slavery in the Reconstruction era, right? A lot of them things that we be saying, right? Florida got a lot of, towns that the people became very prosperous, the Black people and shit, and built their own economy after slavery and shit. You see what I'm saying? So the blueprint is there and shit. You understand what I'm saying? Like, it's just that you can't throw out the baby with the bathwater, and you can't be ruled by fear. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't, you got a lot of people that's like, yeah, but if we do that, they just going to destroy it again. Yes, you can't think that thing. It's not what I'm saying. You can't, you're never going to do what you got to do like that.
Makes sense.
You understand what I'm saying? But so, all those different things, even in terms of this nation right here, what we doing over here, the blueprint has already been laid out. It's just a matter of us executing. You know what I'm saying? Our focus, right, is to affect the youth before they get caught up. You know what I mean? Because see, the youth don't have no money. So that's why people ain't really, they ain't really think about them like that. See, it's money, once they get turned adolescent and start being in and out of jail, it's money in helping them. You see what I'm saying? But it ain't that much money in prevention, just across the board, right? It's not that much money in prevention. See, like you said with security, right?
Right.
If there never was a worm, you wouldn't be able to charge people the same money. You know what I'm saying? Something has to happen. And then all of a sudden, you're like, oh, yeah, well, shit, you can either give me 100,000 or give them 500,000 when they get you. You know what I'm saying? What you want to do? You know what I'm saying? So that's what we do. See, we don't get paid. You can't charge 12-year-olds dues, 15-year-olds dues. But see, you can charge the state, right? You run a program where, you know, these people just came out of jail. You know, and that's not to knock nobody else, everybody, they got, you know, because see, all this ain't happening in one day, it ain't happening one way, right? You know, I mean, the amount of different attacks that we've been under, right? You know, social, economic, medical, you know, the water, the food. You see what I'm saying? So
Very possible.
it's not gonna be one button you're gonna press, right? And then everything is gonna be fixed. Different people is gonna have to work in all of those different areas, right? Because it's all of those different areas that build a society. But you said you came up here from Florida.
Yeah, I'm from Florida.
How long you been up here?
Couple weeks. I just been traveling. That's what I do. I just travel.
So how you find out about us?
Spirit chief. I
Spirit?
was passing by the day. I seen, and I walked in, and she was like, "Hey," then she mentioned 5%. Heard something about those guys before.
Mhm.
See class, having class at 7. I stepped in, I listened. So just I follow the spirit chief. I really live by that.
Well, what spirit is that you follow?
I get high smoke me a blunt, and when the spirit leads me, go for the experience.
You originally from the South?
I'm from Florida.
Oh, originally, but
From Duval County, Jacksonville, Florida. I've been in, you name Florida, I done lived in. I just moved from last place I went to, I came here. I was in Miami, Tampa, Miami, Duval, Orlando. It's like that's my state. I come up here, like I said, I was studying market garden, and it's just like.
well, I see you got the line, so that's
Yeah,
what I was thinking.
yeah.
Like, I was
my
thinking,
state, I'm good in my state. I just like traveling.
But I'm saying like the line as far as like the Rastafarian.
Nah, man, I got my own. I started my
You
own.
just like the line. You recognize it.
You started your own what?
I got my own organization, like.
Got you.
I got everything, like my own doctrine, my own everything. Like, so I just like when I'm able to hear something
You like
enlightenment
Dr.
about-
Savy or something?
Exactly.
But you like Dr. Savy or something?
I mean, I study him too. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can Google it, you can read me, you can listen to my writings, you can listen to my recordings. It's all on YouTube and SoundCloud and all that. I don't promote it or nothing. Like, I just created a marijuana business, online delivery marijuana business. That's why I came up here. Like, because down there, I was selling weed. I had like a quarter pound on the beach. It's illegal. I got a sign that says THC now, so I don't have no like. But you're gonna get. If I don't see those. I don't have no problem. But I come up here because it's legal, and I can just like. That's crazy. You feel me? But with the Marcus Garvey, I got a vision of marijuana and using his vision together to take over. Like it's crazy, but I'll talk about that another time. But that's why I'm here. And the spirit just let me here and you sharing knowledge, like you feel me?
You need to identify that spirit.
Well, I'm saying like I'm just walking by.
No, I'm saying
I don't have no name.
for me.
I'm saying I don't have no name for it. Like
Not for me. I'm saying for you. You see what I'm saying? Because
it's faith. I walk my faith, Chief. Yeah, I mean that's the only way I can explain it because I travel a lot and I just walk my faith.
what do you call it faith?
Faith is just being able to see something, that go there and get something of value from it.
Now, see, here's the thing, right? See, faith you know, if you're defining it, right, as this kind of the knowledge of how things work, and that all things is you know, not seen by the naked eye. You see what I'm saying? Like, see, there's things, right? There may be. Let me ask you a question. Do you have faith that the sun is going to come out tomorrow?
Absolutely.
You know, now, what I would say is that I have knowledge that it's going to come out tomorrow. See, faith is kind of blind. You see what I'm saying? Whereas, you know, just the knowledge that, like I said, things come about through cycles, right? So before that cycle is complete, other people that don't have your level of vision may not see. So for instance, right, if you say you was gonna go to New York, right? You know, in the terminology that you use it, you might say, okay, you know, I got faith that things is gonna go good, right? But based on what you just told me a little bit right there about how you've already done a lot of traveling, I would say that it's not faith, that is knowledge that you know how to travel. Like you know that you know how to deal with new environments and new situations and come up with new solutions to handle situations in different places. But that's knowledge. That's not faith. You understand what I'm saying?
Faith is going in the unseen, not knowing what you in good, expecting good out of it. That's faith. That's what I'm saying. That's how I live.
Okay.
But knowledge of what you said,
you're right.
knowledge as well,
That's
because I
right.
do have knowledge of.
Now, what you just described, right? I would say is blind faith, because you know what's the factor you left out?
Right.
You left out that you're gonna go into a new. I mean, you said you're gonna go into a new place where it's unseen, right? But you left out your power.
Well, I'll just feel me.
Now I'm just telling you specifically. That's
What do you mean by that?
That's what the 5% teaches. It means that when I came here today, right, I didn't know who was gonna be in the class, right? You came from Florida, he came from Queens, right? But I know what I'm talking about. You understand what I'm saying? Like, I already know what I'm gonna do because I've been doing it for 35 years. You see what I'm saying? So, you know, it's not faith that I'm gonna have a good class. It's the knowledge that I've been doing this for years. You understand what I'm saying? So, you know, that's when you can also, what comes into that picture right there is fear. So see, faith is supposed to overcome the fear, right? Because you don't know what you're going into, you're apprehensive about what might be the outcome, right? But the more knowledge you have of yourself and what you can do, no matter what the challenge is and shit, right? The less fear you have. You see what I mean? Because, you know, see, knowledge and fear can't really exist. You know what I mean? That's why, look, kids that scared of the dark, as soon as you turn the light on and they see, you know, once they get knowledge that there's nothing in the room, then they not scared of them. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah, oh yeah, I never ended up plugging in my thing on it. So. Let's see what's good with that. But we should do. I got any other questions?
I just was gonna get more like, I don't know. You got any info on Marcus? I'm trying not to get any information outside of Marcus, but you got any information on the guy or he's so sweet? Like anybody that was, I don't know. I'm just trying to get information too.
I mean, I guess I'm
Or
probably
do you know more about Marcus? You can talk about him.
I mean, nah, probably not more than
Okay.
just the average,
Okay.
person that knows about it. It definitely be, higher scholars than me. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
But just in terms of, he was definitely, in kind of the struggle for, freedom, justice, equality, civil rights, whatever it is. You kind of always had kind of two different mentalities. You know what I'm saying? And one mentality is just do for self, and the other mentality is cooperate, to just get as much prosperity as you can. You know what I'm saying? Marcus Garvey, he's definitely from the do for self side. And just in terms of that tradition, we more related to that over here. You know what I'm saying? Elijah Muhammad, do for self. Yes, I'm saying, and so with us too, like I was just saying, all of the things that that I built on, what I'm saying, is about what we gotta do. Because a lot of times, like I said, it's not even that people got nothing against you, but they just busy. They busy providing salvation for their own self. But you got that the notebook right there.
There was a Marcus Garvey book I had bought. It was real good. I'm just looking to see if I ordered it through Amazon. There's a sister that wrote it, went to Tuskegee School. I don't know if I got it directly from her.
Yeah, I'm going to the library tomorrow. They was open today.
With the Schomburg?
Yeah, they were open.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's definitely an excellent place to do some research on Marcus Garvey.
But when I read about Marcus Garvey, what interested me more is that when he came to America, he came because of the works of the brother that opened up the school, the university down there,
Booker T. Washington.
Booker T. Washington.
Mm-hmm.
So it more or less put me, because that's why Marcus Garvey was here.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he was turned up, but it was under the he wanted to follow what Booker T was doing, because Booker T actually opened up the university and successfully, and he honored that.
Mm-hmm.
And so a lot of it in the history, they didn't tell that part. Fast forward today, it's a couple. It was like one of the sisters I met. She has a doctorate in history, and she got it through that university, Tuskegee. And I don't know. It's like every time I talk to her, she gives me stuff I don't know. But I'm gonna get the information for that. The book is a short read. But it has some good information that I didn't.
I'm trying to get more into the business mind of him. Like, he was the greatest organizer. Like, he had the largest organization. That's why I want to tap into like that mindset. Then he was very economics that what had he was on ships. not bigger than that. You really like you want ships. So I want to get in that transport. I want to know. I want to tap in this mindset on the economic structure and also having such a large organization. Like that's the because I feel like the way for Black man freedom is to have his own organization, not counting on the white man money. If you ever count on his currency, he's gonna always be in
Well,
power.
I mean, there's, I don't know how much is out there, like I have not saying that I don't know as if, in the fact that he don't or that it don't exist. You know what I mean? But just in terms of that mindset, right, is a lot of other people that you still gotta, even going back into the 1800s, who was those people out there in Philadelphia that started to
move.
Nah, this is back in like the 1800s, I think. These people started the Black church. They started a Black church out there, and they was calling mutual aid societies. You know what I'm saying? Like all of that stuff existed. Like look, stuff that existed in our time. Maybe a little before our time, but stuff like the Green Book. You know what I'm talking about?
The Green Book.
That was a book of safe places for Black people
Right. During slavery. Yes.
During their migration.
When
the Great Migration.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? There was a book that, okay, this town over here, you go to this restaurant, but that town over there.
Stay away from this.
Yeah. You know what I mean? All of those was things, or it used to be, it was a movie that I recall, and these people was coming from down south on the train, right? And when they crossed a certain line, the Pullman porter came into the car and was like, we in the South no more, you know what I'm saying? Look, oh yeah, I know y'all used to this, but listen, you ain't gotta do this no more, you ain't gotta do that. You understand what I'm saying? Just saying that there was a unity amongst the people that made them successful like that. You see what I mean? So that's why people may even be dirt poor and everybody be surviving, because the unity of all of them together. You understand what I'm saying? Some of that was just city dwelling. You know what I'm saying? Down south, the neighbors be family. You know what I'm saying? But you get up here and you know what I mean? So, even that, after a while, it just started causing a tremendous amount of division. You see what I'm saying? But there's many societies, you know what I'm saying? There's that town in Florida. What's the name of the town in Florida they burned down to? Yeah, it's one of those.
Rosewood.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. All of those is really the same. You know what I'm saying? But, Marcus Garvey, of course, communication is better by the time he comes along. So he's able to build, a bigger organization. You know what I'm saying? You got to remember, like I said, when those brothers was doing what they was doing, everybody might not even been free. So, the amount of people that's able to join their organization, you know what I'm saying? But in terms of that, look, you got Father Divine, you got Elijah Muhammad, you know what I'm saying? You got multiple people that, built up great nations, and it's different ways that they did that. You know what I'm saying? But somewhere in there, at the root of it, right, is that you was providing, the nation was intended to provide solutions. You understand what I'm saying? So, you know, if the people is impoverished or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Marcus Garvey is coming with a solution for that. You know what I'm saying? You know, other people, you know, they built their nation by, you know, like Jesus. You know what I'm saying? They use his type of method where he went around to all the needy and the downtrodden people and lift them up. You know what I'm saying? But you know, he's definitely, you know, a giant in the area. You know, I'm not saying not this thing. I'm just saying that, you know, yeah, there's other stuff to add on, you know, even where, you know, you came from there to come here, but I'm saying you gotta study that too. You know, because Florida just in general, you know, from Florida not being in the 13 colonies, you know what I'm saying? You know, a lot of, you know, escaped slaves, free Black people, et cetera, was going down. You understand what I mean? So the stories of how they survived down there is all of that's together.
I seen a story today. It was earlier today or yesterday. Like Florida had a town that they put a lake on top of this town, similar to like what happened in Rosewood. They put a lake on top of it. The town still exists under the water. Yeah. But they wanted to wipe the history of that town because Black people were doing well.
I was just saying.
So a lot of states had towns. I think Charlotte was another one. Charlotte. What's the other one? Not Tuskegee. Oklahoma. So there's like a lot of different places had like Black Wall Streets and towns. And places where these Black people did very well. And the Black people white people came in and did something to take it back. Or like you were saying, there was a time when I used to go around.
We gotta stop looking at those as failures.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, did you know that this is a irrelevant tribute, but it's just something about you know, kind of being able to assess why you were successful or why you wasn't successful, right? And either repeat the success or turn the failure into a success, right? There's the airborne rangers, the parachute people in the army, that really comes from Germany in World War II. That they was the first ones to have paratroopers, right? But it was a battle in Europe called the Battle of the Bulge, right? And the Germans lost the battle. So Hitler looked at the whole battle as a failure. You know what I'm saying? And so all of the tactics and strategies that they used there, he threw them out. But the real reason that they lost is because this fog came onto the battlefield and shit got confused and they lost. But America looked at all the shit they did and was like, yo, did you see that shit? Like, yo, we almost got killed if that's. So they took all of the strategies that he used there and just didn't make the mistakes that he made. You see what I'm saying? You can't always, just because this thing didn't come out, or you gotta identify what it is that went wrong, and destroy that part. You see what I mean? Just in general in life. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, you might go from like you identify that, okay, over there what I'm doing is illegal, but over there what I'm doing is legal. You see what I mean? You identify, all right, this is my problem, this is where I'm coming with the solution. You see what I'm saying? So
my problem is not cheap.
You can't.
I retired and it's hard as hell to get back in the grind.
Well, that's the whole other
But get you just like
that's
man. I just travel now into my grinding again versus traveling.
You see, here's the thing, right? when you traveling, right? I'm just telling you what being a 5% is about, right? You gotta be planting seeds that bear fruit.
I do that with my works. I do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I like it.
You're right. You see what I'm saying? Meaning that, like I said, statistically, we know who we are. And we know that we've been through a lot of things before and survived, right? But statistically, here in America, we're supposed to be circling the drain right now. And, it could be important to you, it could not. You know what I mean? But it's just like we here right now, with certain history recorded, of people in our family, that they did certain things, like how he says his family migrated up here from down south. That's a part of his story of being in New York. You understand what I'm saying? So when the history is recorded, right? Let's say if it's your great grandchild, right? What will be the history recorded that you did? Being like right now, right? Rockefeller got, great grandchildren, or how many of the greats that they out to, right? And when they live their life in luxury, right? They look back and say, yo, history records that my great grandfather did all these things right here. See what I'm saying? If you buy some property, you know what I'm saying? Like, right now, look, that's what you never heard. People, look, my great grandfather came here from Poland with $6 in his pocket, and he worked hard, and he sent my mother to college, my grandmother to college, and then she worked hard and opened up this business, and then, you understand what I mean? That's what the history records. You see what I'm saying? So now you just gotta worry about how you record it. See, a lot of times that's what we look at. Like, I spent a lot of years like that, right? We had, like, for instance, say like Martin Luther King, where I looked at him like, I didn't think he was effective. You know what I'm saying? But over time, I seen that things he did, was effective. There's lessons to be learned. You know what I'm saying? Things that I wouldn't do, if given that same circumstance today, right? But it's we don't want to, when we talking about the history, we don't want to get locked into one place. See, like I was saying in the earlier, like you want to get, we not Hebrew Israelite, we not Muslim, we not Christian, we not, you understand what I'm saying? But you got your notebook there. I'm gonna give you the first lesson. Yes, sir. This to me is the most important one. I see what you do with this one. Who is the original man? The original man is the Asiatic black. The maker, the owner, cream of the planet Earth. Father of civilization. And God of the universe. That to me is the most important thing. See, because you can know all that other stuff, but if you don't know who you are, you lost it.
The original black man is the Asiatic black man.
The original man is the Asiatic black man.
Is the Asiatic black man.
The maker, the owner, the cream of the planet Earth, father of civilization, and God of the universe. You still remember your supreme mathematics?
Nah, not verbatim, like off the top. No, I'll get some wrong. I need to study, bro. But what better way is to just come talk to the brothers and build? So that's why I mean, like,
So just get that on cap right there.
all right.
And when you come back, we go from there.
I have the time to come here, so why not support? Come sit. Rub shoulders with the brothers,
It's really for everything that's around us, you know what I mean? Because there's certain people that can go into whatever world and succeed in shit, right? You're able to go swim with, but a fish can't get bigger than the tank and shit. And so saying that to say that we've got to increase the size of the tank of our community. You know what I'm saying? Like right now on this Sunday, we're gonna have an event out here for the kids. You know what I'm saying? We just, because see right now, it's different challenges. It's different challenges to affecting the youth, right? Like see, because now they influences on their phone and shit. You understand what I'm saying? It ain't like they not like they outside, but they not outside.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like their body is outside, but their mind is really in the phone. It's not like back in the days when it was outside. Somebody can just walk up to you and tell you that the black man is God. And your parents don't even know this is happening until you show up at the house with lessons. Saying, nah, I ain't eating. I ain't eating dinner tonight.
Your phone. It just So it's online too.
Yeah, I'm online. Yeah, Random Jews. Well, it's Darkim Be AllahChrist, right?
On the website.
It comes up Random Jews though on YouTube. So YouTube. You know what I'm saying? You also have Sunya 7. You got a law school in Mecca. It's on YouTube. You got I think 5% Connection is on YouTube. You got a couple different, just in terms of, I see what you're saying too, just in terms of, you want to immerse yourself in your own culture sometimes, you know what I mean? Because that's what it is. We out here, even, we a culture inside of a culture, a nation inside of a nation, you know what I mean? So as an individual, you going amongst these other people and you just, you doing what you need to be successful in that cycle, right? And you also write that, the lessons is one of the things that, keep you grounded when you're going into all these other worlds. You know what I mean? Just that, even if you just in your own mind, you know, you just thinking like, yeah, this person right here, that what they just did, you know, that's this degree right here. Yeah, but this person over here, what they just did, yeah, I see right through.
But one of the things I noticed, like, it no matter how much you go around these people, I mean, like, even to the point where if you go in and they don't recognize that, like, say they think, oh, wow, you know, brother's different from, like, say if I put on, you know, like I put on the garments and, you know, I put on a kufi and all that, right? The first thing they're gonna say is, brother, two things they say, brother, like they're gonna ask what the name is, but sometimes before they even ask my name, they'll say, what's my profession? And what country I come from. So that disturbs me. That, and plus with Islam, I'm against slavery. Where, you know, in Islam it's allowed. So being an African American, bro, it's like the only people that I would be able, that I know that's my people. Like when I look at sisters, no matter what, like I can look at a double all day. Like, you know, I could lust or whatever, but that's not who I'm supposed to be with. Just not. How's she gonna be my daughter here?
Yeah, I mean, you know,
I'm going, right. I don't have no like I'm not like, racist. I'm just saying what it is. Like,
I mean, look, all of that is new challenges that it just, you know, I'm not saying it totally didn't exist, but
yeah, today,
you know,
like
you remember it's just with integration. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, white and, you know, mixed relationships was illegal and shit. You know what I'm saying? So all of these things right here, yeah, we off of, you know, those predictions and all that was made in Jesus' time and all that stuff in the Bible. A lot of that stuff is expired. See what I'm saying? So yeah, now that's what all of those different levels, right, of, you know, going there. But see, look, let me tell you something. Everybody can be taught, even them. You see, even now, you gotta go in there and be able to see, you know, which people, regardless if they white or black, or Chinese or whatever, right? Which people is righteous and which people is not righteous. See, at the end of the day, you know, yeah, we all got different abilities. We the original man, they the colored man. You know what I'm saying? But you know, righteousness is decisions. You know what I'm saying? You know, decisions to do the right thing as opposed to the wrong. You know what I'm saying? And depending on, you know, the people around you and the kind of values they instill in you, you know what I'm saying? It comes more or less naturally too. So you know, a lot of times, you know, you gotta realize that that's your power. You know what I'm saying? You can contribute to the environment of hostility. You know what I'm saying? Amongst all people, whether it's other black people, you know, white people or whatever. You know, and that's what, you know, that's also been something that you know, over the years, you know, that's been a lesson that's had to be learned. You know what I'm saying? In terms of, you know, yeah, this person, they could look like us, but they could be unrighteous. You understand what I'm saying? You know, like how you was talking about Marcus Garvey, you know, he had a Judas in there. That's what happened to him. That's how he got locked up. Yeah.
Really?
It's been a Judas.
That's why I stay so low.
In every movement that black people ever had, right? At least that was on some type of national level. There's been a Judas. Whether it's the Panthers, the Marcus Garvey.
Who was the brother that was freeing the slaves? What was
Nat Turner. Yeah. It's always but see with what's his name? She was there.
Who? Harriet?
Yeah. If you start looking like Judas, you get shot, son. Like, swear, I know how this works. I'm not waiting for the Romans to stop the work. You get shot right now.
I'm always comfortable with it.
Yeah.
Never gotta worry about that.
Don't start acting shaky. You see what I'm saying? But that's why she was able to be successful, because she can recognize that person.
See, every organization always been the Judas.
Yeah. There's always been an informant, you know what I'm saying? With, however you want to look at it, there's always been somebody that lined up with leadership.
Malcolm too. Malcolm.
Everybody.
Yeah, all.
Not one.
I always move on my own. That's how I eliminate Judas. Like what I do, I always, about snitches and dudes, doing stuff like that. But it's when you get all right, it's one thing if you were part of the group, but if you caught up in the mix of the group of what the group is doing, you know what I'm saying? It becomes, or like you said, you want the knowledge, but you're gonna give the knowledge. You're gonna say, well, because I hear what you're saying. It's almost I pay the homage, hey, I passed here and I'm getting a spiritual awakening that I need to be in the class. But you're hey, I know this Marcus Garvey, and they're yeah, Marcus Garvey was here. So it's like I'm following his footsteps. But then you have business ideas of your own.
Yeah.
And what the brother is saying is that when you in your walk, be careful of the Judas.
Oh yeah.
So even when I'm
that's why I took it so I never heard it said that way, and it was profound, whoa, Judas was in that, but then you say everything I had to take it.
You know why? Because he said this earlier. He said, remember he was saying how they're out to all right, they know that we are great. They know that we're the original civilization. So I used to walk around and be yo, they racist. The Bible contradicts itself. I used to bang them on all of that, right? Then one day I sat back and it was oh, the European numbers are the numbers are going down. And I thought about this, and I said, you know what? These jokers is afraid of us because they fear annihilation. Because when they was capturing the slaves or killing them, they was cutting off their penis. And I was what make it? Okay, it was the sister that wrote the book, Dr. Frances Wilson. So I have I have a ton of books, but then I read them, I put them away, I save them because I'm gonna go back to them at one point. But she was talking about it of how the game of pool, everything they made, how they bleach rice originally is brown, or the sugar, or everything is all geared towards to try to make them as to make white right or superior or supremacy, the wording,
right? White supremacy,
right? So if you call them a supreme, you calling that person a supreme person.
Yeah,
the trickery. So it's the same thing. It's
I don't have a problem with that because I'm a black supremacist.
Well, not that. There's power in your word, bro.
Yeah.
So if you telling them that, you almost speaking their power into existence.
My thing is, I'm a black supremacist.
No,
so if as a black supremacist, and if I go up against a white supremacist, it's just the battle of gods, and I'm gonna win.
Right.
So I don't care how they view themselves. I don't care how they view me. It's me against them, anyways, because Africans against Europeans. That's always been the war.
Well, see, like
Nah, actually, that hasn't always
we was talking about.
You don't think so?
We was talking
I
about
think it's
K-pop.
always been Africans against Europeans.
See, here's the thing you gotta remember, right? In Europe,
We exist before them.
in Europe, right? Like 99.5% of the people in Europe was peasants and serfs. You know, which is it's not chattel slavery, but it's, you know, you work and you ain't getting the benefits of the labor. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, landlord and all of this stuff, that's what that came from. You know, the landlord was a kind of overseer too. It wasn't just, you know, yeah, it had to deal with the property, but it also had to deal with the peasants that worked on the property and getting, you know, whatever resources they was producing. You know what I'm saying? Whether it was crops, whether it was, you know, they was growing animals, raising animals, or whatever it might have been. You know what I'm saying? And the vast majority of them was brought over here, you know, really to be slaves too. You know what I mean? Guaranteed in a better condition. You know what I'm saying? But you know, like for instance, in New York, you got the railroad lines, right? And you know, that's part of the history in New York is that there were certain jobs dealing with the railroad, right? That it was dangerous. Like they had just came up with dynamite, and so they was using the dynamite to build the tunnels and blast away all type of stuff. And they wouldn't allow the black people to do it because they was too valuable as laborers. You understand what I'm saying? You know, now, you know, over time, you know, just the history of America, of course, they was allowed to assimilate in. You know what I mean? But like I said, they had unifying ideas amongst them. You know, like capitalism and Christianity, et cetera, et cetera. But, you know, they didn't really see each other as the same Europeans when they first came. You see what I mean? Or in Europe. Remember, they was fighting over there. They got 100 Years War, or, you know, they was fighting over there the entire time. You understand what I'm saying? So, you know, that's just, you know, a part of the reality you gotta realize is that the vast majority of them is 85%.
Say again?
The vast majority of them is 85%. They just is unaware of their history and who they are as the average black people. You understand what I'm saying? And, you know, one of the reasons that, you know, slavery took a turn the way it did, right? And the kind of animosity between black people and poor white people got established was that they started making all these laws to keep them apart because at one time everybody was indentured servants, really. You know what I'm saying? And so being that they all was in the same condition, right, and all going through the same shit, it was being unity between the black people and the white people. And they was rebelling and shit. You understand what I'm saying?
With the railroads.
No, I'm talking about we going back now to like the 1600s.
Oh, when they had white slaves.
Right. And when the British and them first was coming in. So because they kept coming together and rebelling and shit against the slave masters, they was like, all right, we gotta separate these classes to where it's beef between them. See what I'm saying? Because I don't know where it came from, but the first time I heard of it is with the Romans. The Roman provinces, right? They always made sure to include two groups of people that didn't like each other. See what I'm saying? So they would spend their time fighting with each other and never get the energy to rebel against Rome and shit. So now you see the same thing in Africa, you know what I'm saying, with the countries that they made. They put different tribes in there that they know don't get along. So they'll never build a unity to throw them off. You see what I'm saying? So, you know, in terms of the white people, I mean, yeah, we teach that the white man is the devil. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, really, that's, you know, we got a certain, especially coming out the 85 world, like if you was Christian, right? This is just the terminologies that you know to use. You understand what I'm saying?
Right, he's calling 85. Right?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, if like us in this room right here, right? You don't have to say that we men because we all men. You understand what I mean? Now, if a woman walked in here, then we had to identify these different things as contracts. You know what I mean? But just to say, you know, God is not an ancient word. You know what I'm saying? Like that word didn't come in with us with the knowledge degree. You understand what I mean? But, you know, like I said, you know, we teach that the white man is the devil. See, we came here with the universe. Like all this stuff, the sun, the stars, all that, we came here with that. They came here because something that happened here. Whatever it is, something happened here after we was already here, and then they got here.
What did he say happened? Real quick.
Well, our teachings, you know what I'm saying, is that the scientist by the name of Yakub grafted. You know what I'm saying? But I'm saying whatever your theory is, if you're saying that they started eating certain food, if you're saying that you know, they moved into colder climates, whatever it is, something happened second, right? Like right now, see, we in outer space. That's just it. The planet Earth is a part of the heavens. They know heavens above. We all out here. You see what I'm saying? So we a part of all that creation right there. We came natural as a part of that. Right? There's some things that is just characteristic of the universe. Right? Life is just a characteristic of the universe. Right? And of all the forms of life that we know, we only know the ones right here on the planet Earth. Right? They gotta suspect this, suspect that, but the ones we know is right here on the planet Earth. Right? Mm-hmm. And of all that life that's here on the planet Earth, right? We first. That's why we the original men. And they colored me. You know what I mean? But in terms of, see, you can't really assign all that much based on people color. You understand what I'm saying? See, that's where you really get into racism. Like, see, I don't buy that shit. When people say that race is for the 1500s. Like, think about it. You think you're going to walk, I'm talking about you personally, right? You think you're going to walk into Norway and they're not going to notice? You know what I'm saying? You'll be like, yo, where you from, Sam? We never seen them. You ain't ever been in the store and you see like a white baby and shit, and they be staring at you like, what the fuck is that? You know what I'm saying? That ain't never happened to you before. That happened to you before. Like, oh shit. You know what I'm saying? Now, assigning characteristics
Peace, God.
Peace. Assigning characteristics and status in society based on that, right, that's racism. You see what I mean? And the reason why we don't deal with it, even though I understand your point of view where you're coming from as a black supremacist, right? But the reason we don't deal with it is because it's still separation. You see what I'm saying?
No, I'm just saying, I'm one of those, I think as, I'm an independent, I think as I am, so if he think he is, then so be. We on.
See, we can't do that.
Why not you?
Because
you use the word supreme being.
I'm just saying, as
I think you use.
I'm not using no label. That's why I didn't put a label.
I'm just saying that you can't.
You gotta stay to the lesson.
You can't try to match their division. You know what I mean? You gotta counteract it with multiplication. You see what I'm saying? You can't fight fire with fire. You gotta fight fire with water. You see what I'm saying? So, you know, a lot of the things that people is doing, right? Like, look, right now, right? You could go to the penitentiary, right? Go to the murder block, wherever it is, right? And listen, ask them to look. Show me a picture when you was in the 3rd or 4th grade. And you would see some of the sweetest little kids. But you gotta get out of here. This person's it. Yeah, man. Because something happened to you here in this society that we live in. Yes, I mean, we pick up certain shit, right? But you gotta put it back down. You know what I mean? Yeah, we need a little edge of it to survive it, right? But you can't allow that to become your way. You understand what I mean? How you move and shit. You see what I mean? Because that shit ain't really your nature and shit. You see what I mean? It's shit that you picked up. You know, everybody want to survive. So, you know what I mean? If you might not know no better, like you might not know that apple right there, you know, belongs to somebody. Or look, I tell you this, like, you know when they say that the Indians used to steal cattle? Yo, I've been out there to the west, yo. And sometimes it'd be a cow just standing there.
That's why they brand.
Right, but look, there's a fence right there, but you don't see no house nowhere near it. It's like this for the cow. Yeah, stole your cow. Dude, how's this your cow?
Right. It's
right. Yeah, I got. That's what I'm saying. So yeah, everybody want to survive. So in a way like that, yeah, somebody might take something to eat or whatever, but you know, really beating people over the head and lining people up and pushing old people in and all that type of shit like that, it's not people's nature.
Peace to God.
You understand what I'm saying? That shit that you picking up here, and that's poison, man. You know what I'm saying? You gotta get the venom out, man. It does take a while. You know, look, that was one of the things that was hard for me to accept. You know what I'm saying? I came in that way, where it was like, I couldn't comprehend how, you know, we were supposed to be, you know, treating white people in the way that I'm saying. You know, because of all the things that happened. You see what I mean? But you gotta remember that a lot of them white people ain't doing that, and they didn't have the power to stop it.
Yeah, they weren't there.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You know, but I'm saying even right now, right? There's not no group of white people that can go down to Wall Street and say, look, give these black people their money back. You know what I'm saying? Like if you just down in the fucking hollows of West Virginia complaining to those people, they can't do nothing. Like those coal miners and lumberjacks, what are they gonna do? They really in the same position as us, but the perspective, the mentality that we've been putting into each other, like I said, because they had to see, you gotta remember this. We say the 10%. In this nation, that's what we say, we got 10%, 5%, 85%, right? 5% is those who know and teach to the benefit of those around them, right? The 10% is those who know and conceal to the benefit of themselves, right? And the 85% is the catalyst caught up. You see what I'm saying? See, that exists amongst them too. It's not, you know what I'm saying, that it's not exclusive to any group of people. You see what I'm saying? So when you got the key thing, what I'm saying about those numbers, right, is you got the 10%, right? And they using the 85% for their benefit, and 5% is trying to help the 85%, right? So that's 90%. So if you a small group of people, the last thing you want is 90% of the people getting together. So you got to split them up into every little group. Y'all motherfuckers is immigrants. Y'all motherfuckers is Hispanic. Y'all Latino. Y'all tall. Y'all short. Y'all light. Y'all. You know what I'm saying? So now, right? The people would fight amongst each other, and you would never have a unified enough thing to say, we can destroy them now. You know what I mean? Or not even destroy them. Look, we can do our own thing, and you can't stop us. You see what I'm saying? But that's one of the things what I'm saying. You got to identify the real issue. The real issue is not the matter. The vast majority of white people, they're cannon fodder. They are. They was brought here to stand in front of guns and get shot so that, people could prosper. You know what I'm saying? That's what they was brought here for, man. To go out there, chop all them trees in the Midwest, man, and, do the grunt work. That's what they was brought here for. In Europe, they got something called the Great Enclosure, right? In the Great Enclosure, the price of wool became the most expensive commodity in Europe. So he wanted all of the land now to grow his sheep so he could sell wool. And he kicked all the people off of the land. All the peasants that was living on the land, he kicked them off of the land. So they moved into the inner cities. And then they started arresting them there for sleeping on the street. And that was the indentured servitude, is that when you was locked up, they'll sell you to a ship captain. And then you had to work that money off. That's how a lot of them got here. And the rest of them got here, look, the people that came here in the late 1800s, early 1900s, they knew they was going to be building a whole bunch of stuff. They didn't know what they was doing. The Industrial Revolution, and they needed people to go in there and die. So they opened up immigration and let a whole bunch of them over here. They don't tell them that. So they don't know. Just like they don't tell us, right? So we don't know, but we really just two groups of people that was brought over here. The masses of us is two groups of people that was brought over here to be taken advantage of. You know what I'm saying? And the only difference between us is that, well, not the only difference, but I'm talking about our social status in America. The difference is that the rulers, right, they need a check on whoever is keeping at the very bottom. So now you got to have this class in here in the middle, and your job is to keep them away from us, right? First of all, don't allow them on your level. See, if I give you a level where it's like, nah, you got to protect your level. Mm-hmm. And now your level is in between their level and my level, I'm good. See, why you think they gave up some things behind that George Floyd shit. See, even though there was a lot of bullshit with it, I understand, fake shit, but at the end of the day, that was too many people. And remember, like I said in the lesson, we say 10%, but the way they talk about society is the 1%. So see, 1% of people, like if they saying, look, it's 500 families with all this money, and they look out and they see people protesting, 500,000 people in every city. All right, yeah, we got it. Whatever they want, get them off the street though. So that's why you can't get caught up with them with that. You can't get caught up with them with that. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, you know, they still came from us. You know what I mean? And believe it or not, eventually they're gonna come back. Everything gotta return to its origin. See, that's what happened with that. That's one of the reasons why you see society the way it is now. Because you got all these different coalitions of people, right? And the way they got it set up right now is that every coalition is kind of feeding on the other coalition. So nobody can really get to a particular level and shit. You know what I mean? Because now the things that benefit me is not good for you. And the things that benefit you is not good for me. See what I mean? That's another reason why they keep their circle tight and small. Because see, we all got the same interests. You see what I'm saying? That's one of the things, you know, these are things, like I said, it's just observations that I made. You know, they're not impossible obstacles. You know what I mean? But that's one of the things that happen with integration is that now that you got Black people in all different segments of society, right? They got all different problems. You see what I mean? So you got some Black people that's like George Floyd, yeah, but I don't get arrested. I don't. You know what I'm saying? I don't have police contact, so I'm not interested in that. You know what I mean? Or there's a guy, Byron Allen, and he was trying to buy the Weather Channel on cable. You know what I'm saying? He owned a couple of different networks, and you know, he was trying to get, you know, Black people to support him, like, yo, you know, they giving me a hard time. You know, when, you know, I got the money, they would have sold it to everybody else. But for most Black people, it's like, dude, we trying to get on the train, man. You talk about buying the Weather Channel. We ain't there yet, man. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. Whereas that nobody could vote, that's everybody. It don't matter if you Jay-Z or if you work in the fucking, you a sharecropper, right? You can't vote, so we all gotta be unified. You see what I'm saying? And really, you know, the more people we gotta unify, the more people we gotta unify. You know what I'm saying? No matter what kind of people there is, because see, like I said, you know, there's a what's the name, Gil Noble. You know, Gil Noble used to have them kind of people on his show. He had this one episode where he had the dude that set up Fred Hampton and the dude that set up somebody else. I can't remember. I remember he had on like a light colored suit, heavy set brown skin dude with a short afro. You know, both of them ended up killing themselves. But they was telling the story of how they lined, you know, everything up. You know, the one dude, I like his story to me is it's uncanny. Is that he said he got arrested for stealing cars, right? And he was like, he already was looking for some kind of way out. Like, you know, I guess he was going to try to rat on somebody or whatever the case may have been. And he said, yo, the police just came to the cell and was like, yo, you want to join the Black Panthers for us? Get us some information. And he just was like, fuck it, was a way out. And then he got over there and they made him the head of security. Like, yeah, and listen, he said he wasn't even on no Black Power shit. Like, he didn't give a fuck about civil rights and none of that. This just was a chance to get out. You see what I'm saying? Now, according to him, right? See, like when I said in the beginning, is you gotta know how to identify Judas, right? Even from the standpoint of somebody trying to come and make you the Judas, right? By offering you something. You know what I'm saying? He said he didn't realize that he was being Judas until he said he gave him the whole blueprint of the place. Like if you ever heard how they came in precision and got him, it was because he gave him the layout, right? And then he left the door open.
That's it, right?
And then he said he heard the shooting. And then when he came back down the block, he was like, that's when he realized the magnitude of what he did. I don't know what he thought on that. That happens a lot of
They
times
took
with
him to
Judas.
his sleep while he's sleeping in his bed,
Yeah,
bro.
that happens a lot of times with Judas. They don't think that the people they telling is going to be successful. they don't think, they think that, nah, I'm gonna tell the Romans, they're gonna come up there, Jesus gonna hit them with a lightning bolt, and that's gonna be that. I just made $40. Yes. He was thinking that was gonna happen like that.
I don't think they had that everybody's black. Come on. So like that could even happen with us. Because like you even have in those facilities, you have Europeans who know our lessons back in the forwards. And then you'll have black people who know it black was the forward, but they doing it for a different purpose.
Right.
And that purpose is to get out of their situation. So now I think from all of our history, from looking at the foundation, it seems to be that that's a big problem. Just we want to trust everybody, you black, and this, that, things of that nature. It needs to be checks and balances and specific things put in order to make sure that can't happen. You might not can stop it completely, but bro, like you gotta have something.
I mean, now what it is, we would have to make an improvement on something that already existed, because that is one of the things, because I look at them as being in their time. You know what I mean? Like for you to be Masonic now is stupid. So that is, you over here concealing the secret, and motherfuckers just bringing niggas from the channel, just saying shit around the world. That's stupid. But at that time, though, like how you saying, that's one of the reasons why they the only successful motherfuckers, because we do our shit secret.
The beautiful thing about the nation, though, the way it's designed, there's nothing to come after, because it's all I, self, Lord, and Master. Like we all individually are gods, and we all individually manifest. So it's not like you could take out some type of Malcolm nigga and then shit gonna fall apart. Like, nah, I'm still teaching my sons, and I mean the next guy's still building his state, and and refining, and it's kind of like this is impossible to stop, almost like.
Right. Yeah, but you know what though? It's still
there.
It's not an overarching strategy, right? Meaning like say when you take civil rights, you have different people working in kind of different arenas and shit. You know what I mean? Like you got Thurgood Marshall and his team, they working in the legal arena. You know what I'm saying? You got Martin Luther King and them, they working in the protest arena. You know what I'm saying? Or you got people that's doing things in the political arena and all of that. And it's cohesive a little bit. You understand what I'm saying? They arguing and shit, but there's enough cohesiveness there where, they not allowing it to totally derail things. You know what I'm saying? That's
like, it's like, all right, so that if we looking at the founding of our nation, look at it from the assumption of the father and what happened to him, when you look at them records, they showed it. So they like, okay, you have to fair play with me. And then you see Charles 37X, another dude named Alex, and all of these people get shot like week by week by week. And when you look at the records, we will never know who these people are, but their names is on there blocked out. You don't know who they are. They could be still amongst us right now.
Yeah.
So like from the origin in your section, this thing of these people who I don't know what you're gonna get out of it, what the hell you're getting out of it, but it appears to me that some people just fall victim to it. And I don't get it. I don't know what the purpose is. I don't understand.
Well, it's hard to say because I don't know the history, of all the things that happened before that, but I think that just somehow the manumission is just breeded into some people. I don't know what it is. Where they open to it. You know what I'm saying? They susceptible to it, and it's just a better position inside the white supremacy just looks real good for some people. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's a definite thing right there. That's why a lot of stuff I do, like you said, people be like, yo, why you didn't tell me about this? Like, listen, man, when I do a plan, when I announce the plan, all of the people had to already was planning that too. Like, I was already thinking that. You was thinking that? All right, see, now we can work. But see, if I got to convince you all this shit, now I ain't got time. So I got shit to do with shit. You know what I'm saying? I'd rather be with the people that we already got like mine. So then instead of us wasting time arguing, we actually coming up with a plan and shit of what we gonna do and shit. But that's definite, that was something that was said. You know what I mean? That a lot of things that you want to do, you just need 3 people, man, that you can work with. At that time, the way it was said, you got a black seed, a brown seed, and a yellow seed. Y'all could work together and do what you gotta do. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, that's definite. I mean, but that's a science, and with you can't accomplish that much, when you got all these traders in the ranks. You know what I'm saying? You can't, neutral people who don't really care about the problem, people who don't really see it as a problem. A lot of them people, I mean, look, it sounds harsh, but that's why we're not pro-black and anti-white. You know what I'm saying? Because simply, look.
Hey, we witnessed it on Saturday, right?
Yeah,
we witnessed it on Saturday.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm sitting there looking at the brother like, who did this in front of us? I'm like,
yeah,
really?
Yeah, it just goes to show you. But I mean, that's the that's the challenges that they was able to at least mitigate in a society. You know what I'm saying? Like that's something I think got to do with it too, is that we're still very tribal. You know what I'm saying? We brought it over here, the gangs, you know what I'm saying, the cities, whatever, like we, and the nationalism defeats the tribalism. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
And just that's why I said, when you deal with the individual science, like some of these things is just be things that I just studied over the years, and I looked at, I was like, you know what I mean? We're on a military level, right? The Europeans say that the reason that they won most of the time is because they was one unit with a cohesive plan. And a lot of people that they was fighting against, right, didn't have no plan like that. Like everybody was just a warrior and you just went out there to do battle. You know what I'm saying? So the organized formations and plans and everything is how they want it. You know what I mean? So it's the same thing. Like, yeah.
It's like the application of knowledge to me too. Like, you just doing whatever,
Right,
and
but
I'm
that's what I'm saying.
doing
We
the
had to,
knowledge.
that's what I'm saying. We had to work. We had to work on some things, right? On some level that's collective. You see what I mean? See, because like I said, as individuals, right, we still end up having to interface with them too much. See what I mean? Like before you and Rob Moore came, we was talking about how in order for us to, you know, like if you want your kids to be successful, at some point you gotta send them. You see what I'm saying? And what happens is a lot of them don't come back. And look, that's not just Black people. That I saw a statistic where they were saying that's one of the things why China became more prosperous. That at one time, when a Chinese immigrant came to America to get their college degree, they stayed here and got a job. But that at some point, most of them started going back. You understand what I'm saying? So if we sending them away to school, right? And just I was telling, you know, but it's real. That look, if 5% can send their child to school, right? And their child come back with a 90, and we celebrate that, right? Same 5% asks his child to quote a degree, and they quote 90% of that degree, and we chastise them. So see, in their minds, y'all ever do this? See, these are things you gotta watch that you're doing, you know what I mean? Because you could plant any seed or you could have a pet or something and you're doing something out of love, but that's not good for them. You understand what I'm saying? And it ends up stunting their growth. So what I'm saying is that, like, look, you know, there's people that was born in America, don't speak English, and they're successful because they can live in their world. You understand what I'm saying? You know, it's people born in America still speak with the accent of the people from their country because they so immersed in their world, they don't have to leave. You know what I'm saying? You could go to school in that world. You could come out of that world and get a job from somebody in that world. You know what I'm saying? So if we send a child out to get a law degree, right, they can't come back and work at a law firm. You understand what I'm saying? You know, they can't, you know, we send them to get a medical degree, you know, they can't come work in a 5% hospital. You see, the Catholics, they got Catholic hospitals. They got Catholic, you know, you can go to Catholic school, you can go to Notre Dame, and then you can come out and work at a Catholic hospital. So anything that's dealing with your faith, right, that you can't do, you in a world where they're going to accommodate that. You understand what I'm saying? Whereas for us, you might go to your job and be like, yo, you know, we have these certain gatherings on this day. You're like, listen, man, that shit ain't on the calendar. You gotta be your ass at work.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
You know what I think? I think that, and I hear it, like, where it's like, if we went back in time, the African Americans, right? We already had wealth, bro. Like something we chase, like say brothers is like, yo, we need this paper. So we chasing something that we already did that. Like you look at I don't need to pick one of them. You could say like King Tut or Mansa Musa. Like the list would just go on and on. If you said bring their wealth what they had back then today, it would be more than the wealth that's here today. So the Black man already had that. Now, when I look at these crackers and they making moves, no matter what technology or things that they using, they got it. They got the knowledge from us. Yeah. Whether if it's geometry, like all the mathematics that's in school, it's all, they don't want to put our name on it. They take it off, like Stone Legacy. They put these fucking crackers, excuse my language, they put these devil's names, you know, and say that these philosophers discovered this. You see, so now fast forward to today, where it's like I see what you're saying, like bro, it's like I need to get paper. So it's either I'm gonna go into business myself, and then even going into business myself, I still gotta go see the Asians for my product, or I gotta go see your Howdy and them for whatever loan or whatever. At the end of the day, it's like, yo, why are we in this position? So I was saying earlier that like, I used to say how it was racism, but today I'm like, nah, I don't look at it as racism because I know for a fact that these people,
I'm gonna tell you what it
is fighting for their survival.
I'm gonna tell you what it is.
If they're not having children, bro, if they need the hearts, like right now, they need a heart or a lung, they going to the black woman in the black.
I'm gonna tell you what it is. I'm gonna tell you what it is. See, when you got knowledge, right? You got to build something with it. See, that's the important things about the Greeks, right? It's that look, they went to Egypt, they got our knowledge, and then they came back. It's like, all right, oh, this shit here, we could build a building with this shit. We can do all this technology with this shit. We ain't gonna sit around and do no esoteric shit and think about how great we is and shit. You know what I mean? Not saying that the Egyptians, of course, they was building with it too. We see the evidence of it. But I'm just saying that that's why that knowledge was particular. You know what I mean? They learned a lot of shit from a lot of people, but they actually put it into activation. You know what I'm saying? We have a lot of stuff and we be like, yo, you know what I mean? A lot of that stuff, man.
But
Listen.
you know what though, God? I'm gonna cut your wisdom. That's okay though, because when you look at the complete math, brothers should be happy because you gotta understand what actually happened, right? You gotta understand that right now we 7+1 years after the 100th year anniversary of the expiration of the devil's civilization, number one. Number two is 50 years after the creation of our nation. So I understand that, all right, you're the swine head and then you got nod yourself. Because I understand the effect that on the nod yourself had on me. And so I know two things when I look back, when I got myself, the momentum of willpowerism and curbing that momentum and becoming righteous. Boom. All right, that took a period of time. Because when I first got out of self, other people could relate. I was mad at the devil, wanted to beat the devil up.
See,
I was violent towards him.
I'm gonna tell you something.
So everything takes time, guys.
Look, I understand that. So I was going to tell you is that, see, you gotta remember, humanity is advancing at a certain rate, right? You got certain individuals that's behind, certain individuals that's ahead. You know what I mean? But I'm saying, like, whatever it is, we all use particular toothpaste now. Yes, you know what I mean, where our breath smell crispy, but they might not have had that at one time. Now it might be some people that still don't brush their teeth, so they still behind where humanity is. And there might be some people with some extra shit that we don't know yet, and they more advanced on the toothpaste shit. You know what I mean? So as humanity, right? Like just say as Black people, all of us, we got more knowledge than we had before. You know what I'm saying? Like them names you were saying, Mansa Musa, I never heard that shit. You know what I'm saying? In the 80s, I never, like even when they was talking about all the different people, I never heard that name.
Now, Black people, I disagree, and I was striving to. So two things, I disagree with what you said, but back to what I was saying, God, is that the point of where we at now, when you said that. Like, I never heard the God say nothing about Allah school out loud. That's the first time I heard it. That's beautiful. I never heard of a 5% high school before until today. That's beautiful. Those things are said now, and those can be activated upon now going forward. And so going back 50 plus 7 in 1 year, I'm not too concerned about none of what the guys did back then. You feel me? Because I understand the progression off of the swine. So, all right, the guys right now, like the older guys, the firstborn, the guys is big on talking about, like you said, about the, hey, I'm the God. All right, that's the God. Now we have the opportunity to be not just God, but to another level.
Hold up, guys. This is what I'm saying. We got to do the knowledge a little bit and catch up to the conversation where we at.
Mm-hmm.
Because see, one of the points that I was making about the advancement of society is that we're not here right now talking about it, we righteous. See, that's good. We could all sit in the room and say, you know, Rob, I'm righteous, so you righteous. So we're all righteous. You know what I'm saying? Or we could go and write the history of us being righteous by the stuff that we're doing. You know what I mean? Because it's really, you know, your own measurement of your righteousness is kind of moving. You know what I'm saying?
It's not God that we want to. That's not true, God, because
That's what I'm saying.
the God, time out, God. The God is sit there. My older brother would sit there, and we just had an event in the back. The guy stand there, sit there, all type of different, and tell me all the live long day about just that. They're not telling me the live long day about how they built 10 buildings, opened 10
but see, God,
they
do
talking
not.
the fact that they got not
But right now, that's where you're taking us to. We're talking about steps and stages of building a society, and you taking us back to us glorifying ourselves, talking about we righteous. Like, God, that's not what we done with. Mm-hmm. See, first of all, just let me fill you in. Mm-hmm. See, these brothers here, they grown. So if they don't know what righteousness is yet, they ain't gonna learn it today. And they ain't gonna learn it from me. That's not, so in particular, this class introducing them to this is all right, y'all already grown. So like him, he said he already got kids. So they coming into this nation with responsibility, right? And the things that we gotta build, they already here, they already gotta build for the babies. So that's where we at, and that's the conversations that we having. We're not talking about who's righteous, who's unrighteous, right? We just, you know, that was a part of the conversation we had too. That listen, not everybody can be down. See, that's something I understood from the very beginning. 5% means not everybody can't be down. But, you know, look, all of us in here, we, you know, none of us is whippersnappers, G. You know what I'm saying? If certain shit ain't latched in our brain yet, it ain't gonna get there.
Yeah, I think it goes with the supreme matter. When you ask somebody, let's say mathematics and say knowledge, and that's the foundation, you gotta deal with where you at, and then you also look at the collective. When you say what's today's mathematics, you're dealing with time. And you use time as a measure of where you at and what you're doing first, and then you look at the collective. So if we looking at what we're talking about to say don't glorify or don't talk about these things, we want to talk about the positive thing. You know, I don't want to talk about Egypt because I'm not an Egyptian. Nobody over here came off the boat saying that they're Egyptian, so I'm cutting them out the window. You want to say, man, to Musa, fine, okay, that's West Africa. However, today is August 1st. We got a tradition we made here called Black August tradition. When does that start? You'll look at Jamaica in 1834. There was a revolt there by Samuel Sharp. 60,000 people got together, killed the people or whatever. He got killed. But what that got to do with us here? We celebrated that and built upon the actions of those people and did what? We began to build institutions. So the European understands the science behind time, which is why these things are left out. This is 1834. Now, when this is happening, we're meeting up, talking about Africa. We're making mutual aid societies. We're making independent Black militias, like the Hannibal Guards. You will not hear about this. They don't teach you this because they know the science of time and place, which is why today's math is knowledge, knowing the foundation of everything in existence. That existence starts with you. Then it's your collective. Who are you? What did your people do? And it's a reason they left us out, which is why we use the math as a historical clock and then to move forward. Now, to your point, if we look at what our people did here, they constantly got together and they built because they all have one common idea. And the common idea was freedom and liberation. There was no time to talk about you're Jamaican, you're this, I'm that, you're Christian, you're Methodist, you're Baptist, all that shit is out the window. I got this mutual aid society here, you got this over here. white man just burned these people stuff down here, let's do this. We crying about schools, 1700s, they did that. They made their own school. It's all right. Y'all don't want to give us no school, fuck it. We gonna use the church for the school. Bang, right here in New York, 1803, African Zion Church, we got our own school. So the purpose of looking at our history and then using that to renew our history is very important, which is why the European is 100% on time with what his duty. CRT is out. Don't teach CRT. Nobody teaches that in school. That's like in college, but what is the point of it? They don't want to talk about civil rights, Indians, and women's suffrage. Why? Because there's something political going on. People is fighting for reparations and all these things. So if you got a generation or two new generations and they don't know the history of said people and how it coincides to today, when it's time to vote, I came from Ireland. I was poor. My family worked hard. Why are these niggers so lazy? Easy for them to vote against it. So we want to look at that. Now, I get the point. If you're going to sit here and keep talking to me about 1970 and it was 1,000 people in the room, I don't want to hear nothing. That's just me personally. All right, that's peace, dog. All right. But people need to hear it because they don't know it, they don't see it. And then that might motivate someone to say, well, let me be the whistle. You know, so I just wanted to add that on. All of this to me is supreme math. To me, that's how I look at it. I mean, that's how I see it.
No, he has a point. Peace to God. Time does make a difference. I was reading a book by this dude. He married to a 85, but the same thing like the brother you mentioned, Alan.
Byron Allen?
Byron, right? Because they start trying to be billionaires.
I think he got $1 billion.
He might have.
I think, yeah.
But the point I'm saying is that the dude that did the National Geographic's Planetarium Observatory, it's a black dude that's over it. He's married. They both married the devils. So in his book, he quoted J.P. Morgan saying, millionaires don't study astrology, billionaires does. And it dealt with what God said, time. Because every time, what they did is we taught them that when you make a move and you make it on, and like just like how the pyramids were built, they built on this time clock or this, like, so it becomes more prosperous when you do it on these set dates in time. When you study astrology and you say, well, what day should we open up this school? What day should we go to war? Or even from the Quran or the Bible, they always use time. Like there's a right time to move on things. Or when you do this, you had like a righteousness that covered them and protected them against, like saying, I think you were saying something earlier.
I know what you're saying, but
Right,
that's what I'm saying.
Why not? God did not agree to 140.
See, time, right? Time.
God, that Byron Allen dude, he's the guy that got all that money to do something for Black America.
He was trying, and then they shot him down.
No. Didn't they give him 300 million or something wild
They
shit?
did?
That was him?
Yeah, I think he was fighting for it, but then Trump, something with the
No, they gave it to this dude.
They gave it
bro.
to him.
I didn't know that.
I wanna make sure I'm right
listen.
about
Yeah, I
it.
gotta listen. Look, I'm gonna have to Google that, man.
You got another charger in there, G? Or you only got one?
Yeah, I got this Apple.
Yeah.
I was gonna say.
My bad, G. I ain't talking about
Yeah, time. See, this is how I work, right? Time is infinite, but timing can be everything. You understand what I'm saying? Like, you got the rest of your life to eat, right? But the food ain't gonna last forever. Right? You're gonna have to eat that within a time for it to be, you know what I'm saying, what it's supposed to be. You know what I mean? That being said, right, I don't like those time prophecies. You know what I'm saying? Because
You don't like the sun, moon, and star.
No, I don't like leaving out my agency. You see what I mean? Because that time can pass, but if I don't do what I was supposed to do, that ain't gonna happen.
Exactly.
Yeah, but then,
Yeah.
but then there can always be another time.
Right, exactly.
Right.
That don't mean it's the end.
That's
But I'm just saying that I don't like, yo, it's this year, so this is gonna happen. So
No, I agree with that.
is that year God? You know what I'm saying? Is what is it in that year that's causing things to happen, right? And then it's like, all right, so why can't I speed it up or slow it down? You know what I mean? Like if it's I'm gonna die at this time, why don't speed it up or slow it down? Or
But now I think what the God was saying is that there's a knowledge in time. The same thing with a rapper releasing an album. It's like, do I release it this week? Do I release it next week?
Well, it's not just a knowledge in time, but it's the harmony of it. You know what I'm saying?
harmony of it.
Meaning that, right now, we live a life where, it's just the light bulb itself, right? Allow us to go kind of out of a harmony, really. You see what I'm saying? Because certain shit you ain't supposed to be reading now.
Right.
Yeah. So the technology allow you. So just being in the harmony when we live in, if we didn't have this technology, right? We didn't have the supermarket, then we would have to know when to plant our crops. You see what I'm saying? And we would do that by the movement of the sun, moon, and stars. We say, oh, right there, yeah, it's about that time. Let's start getting this cleared out so we can get our crops in at the right time. You know what I'm saying? Or the river floods, the flood is coming.
Those are actual facts.
Yeah. So we gonna harmonize with that. You understand what I'm saying? But see, here's the thing, and this is what happens with the calendar, right? Which I've been wondering if that's happening right now because
They shifted the days.
but look, when they shifted from the Julian calendar to the Gregorian calendar, it was because things stopped happening on the day it was supposed to. Like all of a sudden, summertime is coming in October or something. Whatever it was, I don't know the exact date, but the shit was off.
Right.
So they realized that, we had to put it back because now you're trying to pick an arbitrary date, right? Instead of just the harmony, because the arbitrary date don't matter. It don't match. I mean, you got 24 hours, but it's really 23 hours, 56 minutes, and 46 seconds.
Mm.
You see what I mean? But that harmony is, is not a thing going around the hand. It's something that we all in tune with. You know what I mean? We got what they call it? The melatonin and all of that, you know what I mean? That responds to the light and the dark. Yes, I mean, our eyes, our pupils, everything responds to the light and the dark. You know what I mean? All the cycles, the rhythms in your organs and all of that responds to the light and the dark. You know what I'm saying? So, with all those things like that, I understand that. You know what I mean? Time is a measurement of the motion of the objects in the universe, right? So that's one of the objects here. So of course we are part of that, but I just don't like those time prophecies.
I don't like it either. I don't like it either. But
Let me say this, God. I understand it from my studying my lessons. I see it in two ways. I see is that things are gonna manifest, and I have the ability to participate in it or not. I've been witness, for instance, that the devil's gonna be taking off the planet Earth. Individuals gonna be responsible for doing it. There's gonna be 5%ers that are gonna be large and in charge at that time, and then where you at with it? Because, like, for instance, what I mean by that is, like, you got Malcolm, then he has boulevards with his name on it, and other cities. Then you got other people that was alive at the same time he was, and then where the fuck is they at, right? So it doesn't mean they wasn't alive, but they not alive like through the infinitesimal. So it's like, damn, if I participate in the laws, well, I can live a long time. You know what I'm saying? If I just do some regular shit, then ain't nobody gonna remember me and shit. So I'm kind of trying to get it in a little bit right now. I don't know if that makes sense.
Listen, man, eventually your name is gonna be lost to time. You know what I'm saying? As an individual, things that, if you have an impact, You know what I'm saying?
My name is Allah, God. I'm not going nowhere. Nowhere, God.
I mean, that's all
Come on,
peace, but
Darkim.
see, here's the thing, right? Here's the thing. When we deal with these big prophecies like that, right? We say the devil, you know, that you know that the guys is gonna take the devil into hell, right?
Mhm.
And then you said that you could either participate or not, right? What I'm saying is you wouldn't do that in your individual life.
What you say, God?
You wouldn't do that in your
I wouldn't do
individual
what in
life.
my individual life?
You wouldn't say, for instance, I know I'm gonna get dinner tonight. Whether I participate in securing dinner or not, I know it's gonna happen.
I have to secure it.
That's all I'm saying.
I have to secure it. True indeed. True indeed. But God, I do
Yeah,
good
so
ways for this, though, God. I do
Good
good ways for
You're
this.
gonna come up with
God,
a
but this is what I
specific
mean, though,
plan.
too. If I didn't come to the school today and stop with my little jerk chick, I knew y'all was in here building. You understand? And the other day, I didn't come because I knew everybody was gonna be in the cipher. The guy that come told me that Allah B had passed away because the guy said he might be wise to come. There's guys I didn't meet before, but I never seen the guys come together for a brother that passed before and that type of cipher. And as a guy, I need to see that so I can know for future planning. You understand? So I'm like, if I physically don't show up to that, that's still taking place. The guys are still coming together. You know what I mean? The guys are still showing improvement. So the lessons tell you, God, that that things is gonna happen, God. This Quran's gonna come to an end. You understand? And the devil gonna be taking up the planet Earth. And it is true. For my understanding, God, if I don't participate, I've been participating in it myself in several fashions. I've been witness that for lack of better words, you got Malcolm, Elijah spoke. This is like 50, 60 years ago. All right, they said something. Boom. And the way shit look like now looks like the consequences of not listening.
This is what I'm saying, when you look at the lessons, right? The part that you mentioned, the knowledge degree, a couple other degrees, right? Mm-hmm. What about 37, 38, 39, and 40?
I'm listening, God bless.
All them degrees tell you that no matter what all that stuff happens, you're gonna have to take the devil into the house.
Mm-hmm. Myself.
See, all that prediction shit that happened over there, it tells you that you gotta do it at the end time. Yes. It said, why did God make that? We stop talking about everybody else. Mm-hmm. It's talking about you now.
Yeah, and there's multiple places. Then you gotta look at what's happening. What do you mean?
A lack of peace, God. A lack of peace. Word is bond. And that's and God, and that's why that's in that degree, because it's specific to you. If you live in hell, you can't help nobody. First of all, get the fuck out.
Yeah, but
know that clearly.
But if you're looking at it, you said take the devil into hell in the very near future. You're gonna take the devil into unpeace. What's hell? Well, where is this? Why? What is hell? Where is the devil going in hell? What hell? Because that's what you're right. You can say it as a condition, but it says take the devil into hell in the very near future.
Yes, provide him unpeace. This nigga is lofty right now, God. He's doing very well for himself. We need to have a reverse. You let me be where you at, and you be where I'm at.
Right.
That's what
it all boils down to, like, I mean, how I see that is, I look at it as a plane, because it says a plane that the sun has been made or grown from the beginning. Mm-hmm. And for me, I look at it as an idea. And you know, heaven and hell are two conditions, not places. Mm-hmm. So when I look at that, I look at taking that mentality out of myself. The things that cause me destruction, the things that that's what I'm looking at it as.
True indeed, yeah.
And a wild person might really believe that, but it's kind of weird because they don't believe in hell. So where you taking them? So obviously it has to mean this metaphorical meaning that we put to it. But when it says take them off the planet, that's talking about a revolving thing that we already know. No society or civilization lasts forever. When people are dissatisfied, no matter what time period you look at, a revolt happens. We saying when we looking at what we talking about, I'm talking about America, the superpower, the imperialists.
Yes.
It might be the Chinese, man. It might not be us. You know what I mean? So it might be them. We don't know what's gonna happen. But what we do have control over is taking the devil off your plane.
From the guy.
I mean, put that in its lowest place, or keep it in check, keep that down, and manifest, you know what I'm saying, that, which is what you want to say as God. And that's the fight. Because if we looking at this, you saying that Yakub made this said devil. There was a process. This white man had a process. He brought up the book Stolen Legacy. Plato had a specific idea. He had a place called Magnesia, or this ideal place. And he specifically taught that we're going to separate the children from the youth. And after 2 generations, we're going to teach them about this spirit that they know is not real, give them new history, new foundation. Therefore, you made a people because you control the education, you control, as we got now, technology, they control all of that. So they control the image of Black people, but we are the made people mentally. They made us into a specific way how they wanted us to build up the society. The purpose of the lessons or the knowledge is to break that, so you don't fall off into that. And to me, that's how I look at it. Other people might see it different, but you said participate. How do we participate in it? Once you do it, it's your family. Everything starts with you first and your family.
Exactly.
Everything else falls into place. So, you know, it's kind of hard talking about them blessings because every time you bring that up, well, it says this, so Lord, you should be waiting for Lord. It's good time to come to. I'm like, yeah, it is good time. Your good time.
Right, God.
I mean,
you're not wrong, God. The first one is I love Allah, God. What's your name, God?
Rob Warner.
Say again?
Rob Warner.
Rob Allah. That's peace,
You
God.
that's
Oh, here, my brother's Billy. Word.
him over there sitting there. He about to go crazy.
I'm just listening.
All right, yeah, just come back to
So peace to the God. I love all y'all.
Peace, God. Showing
yeah,
this.
have that one on cats that you are listening. Matter of fact, you know something? Write your number down real quick and share. I'm gonna tell my son to give you a call.
I'm about to head out too, if I gotta eat.
Write your number down real quick for me. I'm gonna tell my son to give you a call.
That was our church shit. We walk at it.
Oh man.
Nah, I was listening. I was like, that's how I listen. I process like
I'm gonna be
I
back.
figured out how not to use this brain when people talk.
The next
My
class.
conscience.
All right.
So I go and
Make sure this is the right number.
and pretty state just to soak
So
all
we
the
here.
information. It's just
I'm here on
you use the
Mondays and
process a lot of
Tuesdays. You know about the
Tomorrow you here.
You
yeah,
got your mathematics?
yeah, you know they got
I was just walking by and passed by.
Thursday.
Man,
Thursday
that's
at
how we
Thursday at come Thursday at 6.
Knowledge is all
It
about
used to be
knowledge.
7, but early.
Knowledge
I think
is
he
where
moved it to
start.
5 now.
Foundation of everything, man.
5 or 6 on Thursday.
we
Yeah, and Saturday is 1 o'clock. Saturday
Hey,
at
yeah.
1 o'clock.
You sound like you
I hit your phone.
too.
I did your
Yeah,
phone.
Food away.
Ain't not much, man. Doing what we do.
All right, brother. Peace.
You know, building, adding on. I was listen, you know, I finally, did I tell you, I was watching South and I seen the video that caused him to come over here and ask me that.
Oh, you calling me?
Yeah, I saw it. Like, we keep trying to pop it. Like, see, and then I was like, when I see it, I was like, yeah, so you trying to line that up. Because the way you said it, you didn't put it in that context. Like, if I was seeing it, I was like, if I would have seen the video, I would have said, nah, you told you right, man. But the way you shot, you know what happened? I was just like, yeah, look, man, go ahead, man. So
You see the dumb shit, right? He gotta have a villain, right? It gotta be a antagonist, and he gets mad at like, well, man, take the person, please. I'm like, it's not personal. I'm saying you ain't gonna catch me. I call you on your phone or what's good?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. You ain't gonna be able to physically catch me down there, God. I wouldn't have to retire. Asking
Huh?
saying that.
I went ahead and retired that spot, God. And a lot telling me, like I can't, God. I'll be too ashamed and embarrassed. Too intelligent, God. I'm too intelligent. You know what I mean? My mom and dad speak silent. God. You know what I'm saying? That shit.
Listen, yeah, I try to tell you, man, is you gotta stay ahead of people.
And that's what I'm gonna do, God. Yeah, it's finished.
Yeah, you know, but I'm saying, like, even at that time, like, you know, just remember all the things what happened there, G. Like, that's her. See, when savages go savage, man, that's no place for the civilized, man.
Peace, God.
Let them do what they doing, man. You know what I'm saying? And you know, you gotta use your mind too. Like sometimes, you know how they say, look, you know, when you argue with a fool or whatever,
That
you
both
can't
of
tell.
them
Right. See, don't engage with that shit, G.
True.
Look, the 85 told you that. Maybe 85 told you that. He said, listen, man, we savages, man. You not like us, man. You know what I'm saying? Stay away from
So one of the kids said that to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what he tell me, like, nah, you the guy, man. Dude, you know, you gotta certain don't be around us when we act like this. We don't give a fuck.
Right.
I'm the God. Gotta be civil. Now we got so much building to do, God.
Hey, you gotta do knowledge, man.
Exactly. That's my job.
Yeah, just hit me up though.
Yeah, for sure, dude. Yeah, man, they flipped on me. You're gonna be asking me the same question for 10 years, bro. And I keep giving you the same answer. He just wants to do that just to have it like he wants you know how he has more, he has a Hebrew, he has a credit. He never got a chance to just have this is my 5%. I ain't gonna let you do that.
That's what he said. Every time he come over here, he killed me. He said, yo, man, y'all gotta stop being scared to debate.
That's the game.
Dude, there's nothing to debate with you about, man. Like, look, all that stuff you saying, the people's, okay, I agree. You know what I'm saying? Seriously. Like you said, like, dude, you can tell me all about Kimmy. Right now, they're over there in project saying that shit ain't no pyramid stuff. Unless you gonna build a pyramid where we can clear out the project. Hey, listen, man.
You ain't trying to hear that? I mean, so they go, I'm like, yo, bro, I can show you what the teachers did for people right now, world time, and what it is. Where's this commission stuff in the Black Power movement? Nowhere. That shit had its own time. I don't want to hear that, bro. They was burning incense and shit, man. Sitting there, humming and humming, and I don't want to hear that shit.
I ain't gonna front though. It's starting to, or maybe it always was like that, and I'm just doing knowledge. But yeah, certain dudes got charlatans in there, man. That they just be saying shit, and it's like, dude, that's not true. Like,
It always was like that, G. Always. I just decided to talk about African spirituality, and they got mad. You see, yo, why you quit? I said, yo, hold on. You can't talk about the Bible, Christianity, or any of this, and all of this pseudo shit is right there. We created the pseudo. So what are you talking about? What's the best one? You keep saying everything came from here, then so you're the origin of the pseudo. No, you just don't listen, man. I don't want to hear nothing about your spirit. Man, define that shit.
Yeah, I was listening to. I just, the fact, right before I left the house, that's when I listened to. When you something to who you said he was in the museum and you heard the lady's voice.
Yes,
You asked him, you said, you speaking American.
yeah, son, like, yo, You beating up Christians and all this other shit. Dog, you in the museum standing there and you talking about, yo, I heard a voice. I looked, there was nobody there. It was the statue and it said, it gave me the energy and it told me, I'm here, family. Get the fuck out. You sued all this like you ain't no different than a Christian to me.
Yes.
And then that's where this came and that's how that came. Boy, you 5%. I said, and?
Yeah.
Ain't no supernatural in here, fam. Ain't no spirit, no fool. I don't care if you agree with the story. I don't care. You ain't none of that here.
Yeah.
And no matter how many times you ask me the same questions for 10 years and I keep giving you the same answer.
Yeah.
And it gets you pissed off because no matter who you put in front of me, if we have that conversation, they just sit there stuck and just be like, oh.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I understand what you're saying. All right then. So keep moving. Dog, listen. I had to go through that history to see like what was they in Africa always did they what was their concept of supernatural? And I started looking and I was like, damn, so I'm like when we talk about Yakub brought this mysterious God in there, and I'm looking, I'm like, damn, son, all these people got this shit. You know what I mean? And then I saw in the Congo, that's why I took the name Muntu. And I saw that, and it was saying Muntu is the foundation of the universe. And I'm like, what the fuck is Muntu? I'm like, human. I was like, oh. You know what I mean? Then I was like, all right. But even then, it still had this supernatural context to it. However, they understood that the foundation was the human. And then I started looking at them, and they would use the sun and the moon to talk about the woman and the man and the earth. And that blew my mind. I was like, oh, shit. So we've been doing that. That ain't nothing new. That was over there. So now that I understand that, I have to look at more of evolutionary psychology to understand like what was the purpose of religion? Why did the original man make that? And when I started looking at that, I said, oh shit. It appears that those are the answers to the unknown. Yeah. And once man fears something or doesn't know something, they begin to make stories of it. And it passes on down the line. However, that religion or spirit, whatever you want to, new word you want to use it kept the society together. And as agriculture and all that other stuff come into play, now you have this new phenomenon because early on in that hunter-gathering stuff and all that, there's no writing, we just dealing with archaeology. You don't see them with no high gods or none of that. You'll see them dealing with some ancestor shit, and it's guessing because they put dead stuff with the people. But you don't see no statue, no temple, you don't see none of that. So you're like, okay, they ain't have that. So now after hunter-gathering is over, everything changed now. Now we got agriculture. It ain't no more just me and the clan. Now we got people, population is growing. Now you got a bigger place. Now you gotta, you gotta make some law and order. Yeah. Some rules and regulations. Now you got your punishing guard. Now if you violate the king or whoever this is, you going to hell. You know what I'm saying?
And you know what else it is too? Is that once a motherfucker get agriculture, right? They got shit to worry about.
Yep.
Cause I seen this thing one time, right? It was this dude, he was a Catholic priest. And he went to this place, I think it was in South America, right? With these people that they was still like first contact and some shit. Like these people was living primitive and shit, right? And his mission, he was a missionary, so he's going out there to try to convert them and shit, right? But he couldn't get them to understand the concepts of Christianity and shit. Like when he explained heaven to them, it was like, yeah, it's like right here. You know what I'm saying? Because where they was living at, it was so there was so much resources there that they didn't work. Like all they did is eat and slept. Like whenever they wanted to eat, they would just go get the food right there and shit and just eat, and then they go back to rest. It was nothing. They didn't collect no stockpiles or nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? And so the experience made the Christian fall victim because they was righteous. That was the thing. He was like, yeah, you know, his mindset was, yo, you gotta accept all this Christian shit. But when he seen that these people was living the way Christianity tell people to live without ever being exposed to it, he fell victim. But then when he went back to visit the people and shit, right? They was fucked up and shit. They was, you know, all type of shit. And he asked the nigga, he was like, yo, what happened? And that was another thing. When you seen it the first when they showed them, you couldn't tell who was the old people and the young people. When it came back, they showed one of the dudes that he was in the first part of the documentary or whatever when the Christian dude first went there. When they came back, you can see he got older and shit. And they asked him, they was like, yo, what happened? And he's like, yo, they gave us electricity, man. I'm dead ass. He said, yo, first they came in, they said, yo, you gotta go to school and shit. You know, we're going so that, you know, y'all going to get all the stuff and everything. And then he was like, yo, they gave us the electricity. So first we could just read so the kids could read. And he was like, yo, after that, we started getting all the stuff. And then we started being worried that the electricity was going to go out. And then that's when we started, you know, everybody started bugging out. We started having all these problems. And then it's like, yo, you got somebody that's going to keep the lights on? Fuck it. You know what I'm saying? We pray to him and shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm dead ass. So they said they gave him electricity. It fucked them up.
Right, and that's the power of that, man. When you look at that, like they humans made that to keep themselves together, and as technology moves on, that's just what it is, bro. Like it's crazy, bro. Yeah, man, he mad at me now because I call him the religious conscious community. He be like, yo, you be protecting them niggas, them African spirits, nigga. I don't care about none of that shit. And you know that from when I met you, bro. He was like, yo, but you was Team Kemet. I'm like, yo, it's an African civilization. I'm gonna talk about it, but that ain't my thing, bro. My thing is right here where I'm at right now. You know what I'm saying? This is what I'm dealing with. I don't know about none of that, bro. Like, I did that already. And once I did it, I see that you can get lost in that shit.
Yeah.
You could tell me all about 5,000 BC, 3,000 BC. You can name all the goddamn pharaohs. If I ask you some shit right here, you don't know nothing.
Yeah.
I ask you when the first black guy here, you don't know. You're gonna say 1690. What's the first free black community in America? You don't know. You don't know shit. I ask you, yo, what was the systems on the slave plantation? Oh, the house nigga field. No, wrong. You got that from Malcolm. Well, it's the task of the gang system, dog, and that's all through the United States. But you know that to me, that's knowledge of self and kind. I'm talking about you and your collective group and what they did and how they began to move forward. Do they have carryovers from the old world here? Yes, you can see voodoo, you can see it in our food, you can see it in our music, you can see it in our dance, you can see it in our fight styles, you want to call it 52 block, whatever, we can see that. However, we are new people who made a new culture. And right now, my culture is our God. That Kemet shit you talking about, yeah, that shit ain't nothing over there. It did something 3,000 years ago.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not hating on you, man, but if that's where you want to stay, that's fine. I'm not on that time no more. That shit is a time warp, God. You be sitting there, Imhotep, the great doctor, cool. And you just be, that shit is too much.
Yeah.
You be stuck in there, so you be talking about the mental. Then you get to the new shit, these niggas humming and shit, standing there, holding the same shit that the cap. You saw the dude? He got the captain priest sitting his hand with all white. They sitting up in that motherfucker walking in a circle. Bro, I ain't doing that. I ain't doing that, God. So they mad at me because I called them the religious conscience. I said, all y'all motherfuckers are too low and you scared to let me slap your people up. So, you know, I've been falling back though, God. I ain't been doing that, man.
Yeah.
Because I'm working, got my school shit popping.
Yeah, but you know something though? It's starting to get too crazy. Like there was a time where I understood, like, you know, where it's like, yo, this stuff gotta be addressed. But now it's starting to get silly to the point where it's like, all right, if you was gonna fall for that, I couldn't save you anyway. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, some of this stuff is nice, right? It's just some of it is just like, yo, I don't see, you know, like you discovered all this stuff, all this ancient symbols and everything, but then like, you know, I don't see how we gonna use that. Like, where is it really?
Exactly.
I just don't know.
I just want all y'all to know that God let me get booked. God let me get booked in front of a law school in Mecca. You know what I mean? And you said you is not God. I'm gonna show it to you right now. I said, damn. Bro, I was thinking about that shit. Every day I gotta think about it because I feel my goddamn hamstring. I feel a lot better now. Put the ice on it, get the ice therapy shit. They got the stretching machine where I'm at, bro. You lay down, you put your foot in it, you pull the shit back. My shit only go to 70. You know what I mean? So I was doing that shit. I did that today. But yeah, man, that shit kind of messed my head up. So I was like, damn, son, like, how you do that, son? Like,
Yeah, people is, but you know, that's something that changed, man. Where I seen that, you know, people used to protect their neighborhood. Like I remember one time, somebody snatched this lady purse, G, on 125th Street. Yo, G, the whole fucking block had the city yoked up and shit. And somebody came out though. Somebody was like, yo, he still with a bus though. He still with a bus.
nah, man.
What I'm talking about, shit, he got jacked up
Hey, yo,
super fast.
Who your moderators over here, man? They gotta block this person that keep putting looks like we found you a girl. You gotta block that account, bro.
Who is? Yeah, I got it.
That shit keep coming in there. Block that, motherfucker.
I ain't in the. I haven't looked in the. What's the name today? Yeah, it do be some. I have characters. How did I get to the? Oh, this. Oh yeah, what the hell? I be wondering. Yeah, that's one thing I don't like. You can't.
You can block them. You just press their thing and then just put block. That shit was going on. That shit was going on the whole time, bro.
Oh, this ain't man.
Yeah, he been acting, bro. He been acting. We gonna get you out of here, whoever you is. Yeah, that means that you been sitting here listening.
I'm just trying to figure out how to block people all the way. Like,
Nah, this how you do it. Let me see.
Where you go? Right there. Press this whole thing. Go to channel report, remove, unhide. Oh, you already did it. See, it says unhide news on the channel, so it's already done.
oh,
Somebody did it.
get him out of here.
Yeah, that little letter piece right from having you. So pull up on the dog.
Yeah. What time is it? About that time, yeah. It's about to get up out of here. Yeah, it's that time.
I got 6:30.
I know how that is.
Yeah.
But what's the deal out there?
I did a bill today on Clubhouse that when I have my break. And
Okay. Yeah, I still ain't built up to talking on there. I just go in there and listen, man. To me, Clubhouse is like the radio. It's like
the radio show.
Yeah, but it's like with different channels, where like you can watch soap operas or comedy. You know what I'm saying? You can watch like economic shit.
I like that. I was like Shane. I was kicking off fucking.
Oh man, listen.
Me, bro. Up the block, bro.
Oh man, listen, they sound real good when they by themselves.
Bro, if you listen to her by herself or with that PPCB, you be like,
Yeah,
this sister sharp.
right.
You be like, yo, she is sharp.
Yeah.
And she come in the spot. I want to talk about bombs. Nobody say nothing. I got it. And I'm like, yo, man, I don't even really want to talk to you, but people was in the back chat like, yo, man, just let that go for now. Just people need to hear that she's out of her mind.
Yeah, so yo, over there.
Yeah, I know you saw that shit. You was sitting there like, what the fuck just happened?
Yeah, gee, listen. Like I said, look, I had to go back and catch up. I had to catch up because I haven't watched Shonda in probably about 6 months, something like that. So I had to go back and catch up. I didn't know Nature Boy was locked up. I didn't know. Listen, I didn't know a whole bunch of shit that happened. Yeah, now listen, he's reached that level where it's not funny no more.
Yeah.
Like he's seriously, mentally, you know, in my opinion, he need help.
Bro, that dude,
You know what I'm saying?
he got little girls, bro. I don't know what the hell he's doing.
Listen, before something happens to one of them, for whatever reasons, you know what I'm saying? He needs to get help, man. Yeah, some people that's a little bit off, but nah, man.
That shit is crazy, man. They just be making up shit, bro. Like, yo, you said you was gonna do that. I'm like, why would I say that to him? I'm like, yo. And then just when I heard that, bro, you said that I felt uncomfortable. Anybody that watched that shit, you was just sitting there smiling, flicking your hair, putting lipstick on. You was chilling.
Yeah.
What was all of this other shit? I'm saying, but I'll let that go. All right, let's get to the information. And then now when we get to that, you 0-4. Every source you pull up don't say shit that you saying. That means you're crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy, God. Like, come on, man. Like, that's a little. All right, the first one, all right, you slide. Second one, third one, fourth one. Whoa.
Listen, I think that's a phenomenon on Clubhouse, right? Is that what I see on there is that Clubhouse is where insanity meets education. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of highly educated people on there that, you know, they know how to research and do thesis and all this type of shit like that. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, they can research information, but all that information that they researching is really reinforcing their insanity.
Yo, the box came back. They got a new. Yo, what you do, man? How you attract these people, man?
Man,
they got them, though. They got them. They taking care of them. You self-taking care of them.
Who knows? Oh, it's another one.
They got them.
Hey, listen, that's what I said. Look, that's when you made it, when you got the bots on you. You know what I'm saying?
Yo, what's up with you inside of these, man? Every time I happen to check
I just told Saladin everything's peace. You know what I'm saying? I saw his trademark is, you know, he did whatever the paperwork is. You know, the thing was with that was just that, listen, man, you know, I'm not really a person that's against change. You know what I'm saying? You know, because my thing is time is passing, right? So we can't just keep doing all the same thing. But if we want to change something, we got to come together as the guys and say, okay, this is how we're going to do it now. And it could be anything. It could be, yo, we're going to take the 1 to 10 out of lesson. Let's just say, you know, something, right? Okay, if we as the guys decide that that's what we're going to do, then that's what we're going to do. You know what I'm saying? But when you just start moving, it's like, yo, gee, now we don't even have a thing. We don't even have a thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, my shit is, listen, President Trump, they trying to indict him for shit he said in Russia. Like, dude, if you're the president, you can't just move like that, G. You know what I'm saying? And then, you know, like I said, in terms of the merits of what you did, all right, we can discuss that. If you think that was the best move or whatever, we can discuss that. You know what I'm saying? But there's an order to just how you do things.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? And it's like at the end of the day, you already made your move and shit, so you already bullying us. You know what I'm saying? It's like you holding the golden goose, saying what we gonna do about it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's just crazy, man. But I'm out of here, man. I might slide through, a little later.
I know that. Yeah, I'm about to
Slide in. I just happened to see you when I was coming up in the area, so we were running on the block.
All right, no doubt.
You class, she building about a little bit. Yeah, man. Well, what else is coming up?
Well, this Sunday I'm trying to do because the boxing class this is our 5th year. But we didn't, it's the anniversary is in June, but just a whole bunch of stuff happened when we get ready. So this week we're gonna do the little party. We're gonna have the ice cream cake, the food. I got a bouncy house in the back, we blow that up, and we got some video games, just let them have fun out here this Sunday. And I'm gonna try to do one more day like that by the end of August. And then the first week of September, we got the book bag drive. And then after that, I'm going on vacation for about 2 weeks. Summer's been a little bit hectic. So, once they go back to school and, the weather get cold and I ain't got as much work to do out there. So, yeah, I got time.
Shit's crazy, man. Iron don't never stop, bro.
Yeah.
Just can't wait till I'm done with this shit, dog. I'm almost dead, dog. Once I finish that shit,
Programming,
yeah, then I gotta do it. Shit.
Oh, matter of fact, you should call this brother too. He's a software engineer. Yeah.
Who's that?
The brother that was just sitting right there.
Or
Yeah, black. Yeah. Because I just got the number because of my son and shit. He just got he got like the last interview or something he got to go to for software engineer. See, hopefully everything work out with that.
that worked out easy, really.
Yeah, I get him off the payroll.
You gonna put him on the payroll?
I get him off the payroll.
Off the payroll?
Yeah. Listen, now I get on his payroll. He make the kind of money I get on his payroll. Now, like, that's it. I retired, man, so I've been waiting on.
Right.
That's it. I got him, my other daughter's doing her thing too. I live in Milwaukee, so I'm like, yeah, I'm just waiting. I get a little bit more. I just collect like 10K from all of y'all. Just give me 10K a year. I'm good.
Peace, y'all. Peace to the family. Peace to all y'all, the dogs in the earth watching, man. Yo, man, Darkim, let me get got, yo.
Oh, man. Yeah, Diggy crazy, man. Young cat came up here, stole the bike. But, we had a decent class today. We had some decent individuals new. So, we know we can't go into our language and all of that. You know what I mean? For some of the people that you might be newer, that was a little demonstration on how we can build on some of our ideas and concepts with people who don't speak our language. See, we used to speak our language with each other, and we understand perfectly and don't realize that, it's not just the language, the connection between the numbers and the letters of what we're saying, but it's actually the ideas and the concepts, right? Because they coming out the Christian world, and they got ideas and concepts that was introduced to them through that. Those are some of the things that we shaking off as we study the lessons. You know what I'm saying? We shaking off that mindset and that kind of education. Nah, they ain't take no fast. That's why they ain't get no lessons. I don't even know if they want to be this. See, that's what I'm saying. I don't, first, you got to talk to them. like I said, I don't try to tell people that they got it. I let them tell me they got it. They just got to show and prove. You know what I'm saying? So nah, they ain't fast on 3 days. You know, that's why I just gave him. If you notice, I gave him the knowledge of it. See, because he said he already was studying before, so you already know what to do with that. You know what I'm saying? You already know what to do with that. So now we'll see if he memorized that. You know, that's another format of teaching. If anybody came here and you went to Umalah's class, right? Umalah give you 120, and then the supreme mathematics and alphabet. There was other brothers that I knew that did it that way too. You know, and you know, one of the brothers, you know, his wisdom on it to me was that, listen, you know, if they're gonna fuck up that up. Don't fuck up with the math. Fuck up with that. So let's see. You know, look, that's degree right there. That's about himself. That's for himself. So if he don't do the right thing with that, then what would be the purpose of me giving him anything else? No, he don't know the knowledge of greater than 1 to 10. He's not one of us. You got people, you have dogmatic seekers where that's what they doing. Like a dogmatic seeker is like those eternal college students. You know, those eternal students, they just, you know, they never, you know, get a job in the field or anything. They just keep going to college for this subject. You got some people that's, you know, they seeking amongst all the people. And look, that's their prerogative. It's nothing wrong with them doing that. You know what I'm saying? Like if they want to go amongst different people, right? And detect what they see as the truth, right? And internalize that and have their own way of life. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just some people that's just dogmatically seeking. So a lot of the times when you see those older people that come, you know, amongst the knowledge and everything, that's a lot of times who they are. They're people that have been dogmatically seeking. You know, and you know, it's also, you know, you got the dogmatic seekers, which that's part of what they dogmatically seeking is the promised land. Now, the two brothers that was in the front, the brother that was sitting right next to you, he got the knowledge. But those two brothers, yeah, they just came in. They found out about the class, they just came. You said you couldn't do that in the mosque before you even got to FOI class. You had to have at least a 1 in 10. Well, this is where you come to learn the 1 in 10. But you know, you also have the people that's looking for the promised land, that they looking for heaven. You know, they looking for that place where, you know, you could put all your problems down, or, you know, whatever, however it is they describe heaven. You know, the way they describe it, the way they describe heaven when you be at a funeral. So, of course, that don't exist. So they never end up finding it. So they keep right on seeking. You know what I mean? You know, this is one of the worst places for them to seek that, because over here, you got to put in work. Meaning whatever is the, you know, salvation you're going to have here, whatever, you know, whatever heaven you're going to experience is going to be because you went through hell to establish that. At any rate, everybody do the each one teach one. If you made it this far, hit the like button. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. Other than that, we're gonna sign off right now, and we shall return tomorrow at 7 o'clock. So we'll get, hopefully that other brother comes in that was just getting his math too. Need to highlight him.